slopestyle competitions, the Super Bowl of the sport. The day is today. Red Bull Joyride. I'm your host, Cam McCall, with Alanko here in the booth. The dominance of Emil Johansson the past few seasons interrupted this year, 2024, by one man, David Godziek, who has gone undefeated. I'll tell you one thing, we've been sitting courtside today, and the riders are pulling out all the stops in practice. It has been an eventful practice, Alan, and the stage is set for an absolutely insane finish to this 2024 season. Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, Godziek has been on fire all season long. It has been really exciting to see him get that confidence and take that into multiple wins. A lot on the table here for him today. We got Nicolai Rogatkin. We have a lot of contenders. It is open today. We've got Tim Bringer. We've got all the riders. When I say the riders have been pulling out all the stops, what I mean to say is it has been incredibly eventful in practice. Riders have been trying to pull their big moves so they're ready for the finals. We've seen riders go down. It's been insane. The last person to win Red Bull Joyride who wasn't Emil Johansson was that man we just saw on the screen there, Nicolai Rogatkin. We've seen a lot of riders show they're pushing themselves. One rider that has pushed herself all season is joining us in the booth right now. How lucky are we? Caroline Buchanan, thanks for joining us.
It is a pleasure to be here. I would love to competing on this stage. However, this is an iconic moment for the ladies joining Joyride for the very first time.
Yeah, absolutely. We are very, very stoked to see all of these women attack this course. I've been super impressed during practice. It's going to be an amazing day.
It's been huge. We had Robin Goom set the stage at the beginning of the year. Unfortunately, she's out with injury. However, yeah, we've got a solid field. Global show up. You know, the fact that the depth of field is so deep, the talent pool is insane this 2024 season. The fact that we've seen some riders crash in practice means it's really going to open the door for some of those consistent riders who haven't cracked onto the podium. We mentioned Emil Johansson, 13-time slopestyle winner, 3 times Triple Crown, 3 times Joyride, and this was moments ago in practice. Emil Johansson going down. He had a big crash in practice yesterday as well. He could barely raise his shoulder. He was on course today, absolutely sending it. As you can see, another crash took him out of the competition today. It's official. We will not see Emil Johansson drop a Red Bull Joyride 2024. Opening up the door for not only new riders to pop into the podium, but really opening up the door for David Godziek. Just one more rider he doesn't have to worry about for that Triple Crown, but one rider he will have to worry about, Alan, Tim Bringer. I feel like the stars are aligning for him right now. I can't wait to see what happens. Yeah, Tim Bringer, 4 second places to his name. He has not cracked that top step of the podium. I know we've been seeing some moves out of him in practice today. We've been hearing rumblings throughout the village on what his plans are and what he's been doing in practice. Today's the day. Seize the moment. Look out for Tim, and in the back of your mind all day during the competition, both in the women's field and the men's field, keep in mind that we will be crowning a rider of the day, and you have the power to decide who takes that title. Scan the QR code on the left side of your screen right now. Let us know who your favorite rider of the day is. We will open voting after run 1 of competition. Last year, Ben Thompson, the local boy out of Squamish, was able to get the votes, and he was the rider of the day. It was a big moment for him. We have 4 British Columbia athletes out there in the men's field, 1 young Canadian BC girl in the women's field. And you know, if one thing we've learned in the past 20 some odd years of watching slopestyle competitions out here on this boneyard slope is that the BC crowd is so rowdy, and they really rally behind their hometown heroes. Yeah, absolutely they do. It's interesting you said that. You know, we're getting long enough in the history of this sport that we're seeing riders who grew up watching their heroes on this hill, and now they're actually out here. We've got Natalia in the women's. She actually had a crash, so unfortunate for her. But Natasha Miller, local Canadian girl, imagine getting off a school bus last week and now showing up for Joyride. We talk about this being the final of 4 stops. Let's dig in a little bit to what we've done this season and how this competition format works. Of course, we kicked off the season down in Rotorua, New Zealand, where the women made history. Caroline, what's up? You were on the podium out there. You have reinvented yourself so many times, and this slopestyle iteration of Caroline Buchanan is another chapter in your history book.
And in this competition format, we got this beautiful course here with 11 trickable features. Each rider gets 2 chances down that course with their top score counting toward their ranking. Now, we have been tabulating the scores throughout the whole season. We will crown a champion for the Slopestyle World Championship Series. But last year, I say last year because that's the year we're talking about, but it's been the last few years. Emil Johansson's dominance only broken for the first time this year down in Cairns, Australia by David Godziek. A man who won 2 this season, and if he wins 1 more, he wins the Triple Crown. Nicolai Rogatkin won it in 2018. Emil Johansson won it the last 3 times it was contested, and now it comes down to David Godziek. The first time we had Triple Crown up for grabs, Brett Reeder, he showed up here, he had an opportunity to do it, and the pressure was so much. I wonder how David Godziek is going to be able to handle that pressure today. We're going to watch that story unfold, but I feel like now is time to talk about the course. I mentioned it's got 11 features. Let's go on board with our riders in this GoPro course preview.
To Whistler, everyone. Nicolai Rogatkin here with
Has.
We're out here for Red Bull Joyride 2024. We're about to show you the course. What do you think, Has?
Yeah, sick. Red Bull Joyride, first time for the women. Course is fun, it's fast, and ready to get it.
Oh yeah, let's get into it. Okay, dropping. We're starting off with this first small little drop. Then we get into this technical full dirt-to-dirt whale tail. Oh yeah, steep step down on the way out. Now we're going for the fastest part of the course, ripping this big berm into the first hip, blasting the first hip. Oh yeah, oh my God. Okay, now into the second hip. Oh, Has is ripping. Now we're pinning it into this absolutely vertical berm into a steep trick jump straight over. Okay, we've gone through the big hits.
Up onto the whale tail. Little half crank. Chilling.
Off the drop, straight into this steep berm again, into the big dirt spine. Okay, Has is gonna go right, I'm gonna go left. I'm gonna catch her into this cannon log.
Chilling. Woo!
To the bones. Oh, I'm going massive. Oh, and there it is. Rip into the finish corral. That course is absolutely insane. Oh my God. What a lap.
Oh.
That was rowdy, no?
The final feature at Red Bull Joyride is always a crowd pleaser, but Alan, we've never seen the last feature be a cannon log. What do you think of this?
Yeah, classic Joyride move to throw in something we haven't seen for that last feature. Where they did it in the past with the whale tail, they did it with the big drop. I've seen step downs, but yeah, the cannon. It is definitely going to encourage these riders to do their hardest tricks off of a feature that they probably have never done it.
Caroline, how important is it to end your run with a bang?
It's a little bit like CrossFit when you have that finisher. You're already depleted and you just got to send it on a bang. So I'd imagine that the overall impression on those judges, if you can send on that final feature, it's going to have a big impression score.
Oh, we checked out the course. We talked a little bit about who is going to be competing out there today, and we got a fun opportunity for you. Check out the racecompanion.com. You're familiar with fantasy sports. Well, we have a league here for slopestyle mountain biking. You can build a team, have a friendly little gamble with your friends. There's also prizes to be won. There's some big names out here today and some big names out. Really opens up the door to get that dark horse. Start putting some of your wagers on these riders who haven't cracked into the podium before.
Yeah, we're talking about that cannon log and these riders trying to pull off their hardest tricks on that. Why is that hard? There's no transition on that takeoff. So many of the rotation moves, you use that transition to set the tone for that rotation, whether it's a flip, a spin, or even a tail whip. But that flat lip, that makes it that much harder to get those rotations moving.
The second best way to enjoy Red Bull Joyride, to actually being right here on the course, is to being right where you are, comfy on your couch, watching the action. And we want to reward somebody for joining us by allowing you the opportunity to win this piece of Crankworx Whistler 2024 merchandise signed by Lukas Huppert, Emil Johansson, Erik Fedko, and Natasha Miller. Your way to win this thing, leave us an entertaining comment in YouTube chat box below. Most entertaining comment, we're going to put this in an envelope, send it to your door. So let those comments fly. We're going to be paying attention to them throughout the show. And you know what? I can't believe this day is finally here. The course is absolutely beautiful. An earlier start today, making sure that the wind is low. Red Bull Joyride coming up after the break. Do not go away.
I'ma fly high, 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 I'ma let it ride.
Prepare your bike. Visualize the track. Keep your blood pumping. Every mistake is a new opportunity. Keep your grip loose for the wildest rides. Bike on Red Bull TV.
We all have our idea of what we want the sport to look like. Still have that childhood feeling every time I drop in.
We are ready down here.
Anytime?
It's go time, man. It's gonna be insane.
The best feeling ever.
I'm ready to go.
Anytime. This September on Red Bull TV.
Crankworx is... it's a crazy thing to be involved in.
It's hectic, but you're in it and you're just like loving it.
A reunion of friends and people in different cultures.
All these cool different locations, all these different tracks. There's always so much stuff going on. People are just stoked on biking, and they're just stoked to be here.
Hearing so much energy around.
Yeah, we live for that.
Unreal.
Please make sure that your seatbelt is fastened.
Yep, riders are at the top of the course here in beautiful Whistler, British Columbia, the epicenter of all things gravity mountain biking and the birthplace of Crankworx festivals now around the globe. We're capping off this season the best way possible. The way it all began right here on the Boneyard. We fill it up with crazy fans, and we drop these riders to make history. Perfect morning for it. Low wind, 2 miles per hour. That's the most important factor. That's why we got an early start out there today. We want to give these riders the best possible conditions to perform their best run of the year. And you know, that's why we've seen such an eventful practice session, is these riders set their sights so high, and they want to capitalize on this opportunity, knowing this is the biggest stage. Well, the women invited onto this stage earlier this season. Caroline, you were there. First slopestyle competition in the Crankworx World Tour for the women down there in New Zealand.
That was my big Superman seat grab at the bottom, or Superwoman. It was an iconic women sport. It was an iconic moment in sport. The ladies really leaned into that pressure, and we talked about pressure being a privilege. You always have that internal pressure, but the moment that the doors opened, the ladies said, all right, this is our opportunity to lean in. They had the external support with everyone. We held down the show, and yeah, I mean, now the new narrative is it's in Joyride, it's here to stay, and it's a part of the show.
I love what you just said. Pressure is a privilege. If you're nervous, well, it probably means you're doing something that's worth doing. And you did that. You rose to the occasion down there in New Zealand, put yourself onto the podium with an extended Superman seat grab. And now you see your friends right here getting ready to drop in the first ever Red Bull Joyride for the women's category. Who do you have your eyes on in this list of competitors that you're usually rubbing elbows with?
It is these top 6 ladies, truly a global field. I mean, I'm going to have to say Shealan Reno, she's climbed her way. She's probably been the most consistent all season. Alma started out with an injury. However, she is back. She's had wins before. Harriet Burbidge-Smith had a concussion in the last round. She is now back. She's had 2 podiums. I mean, I've got to say Natasha Miller, she is out of school. She's missed the last 2 rounds. Lisa Marie was an alternate. She is in the mix. There are so many ladies, and one of my good friends and the grandmother, you could say, of slopestyle, Kathi Kuypers, who's about to drop in. She was really the reason for the ladies of why slopestyle is a part of today.
And it was great to have her dropping in. to the Innsbruck course just a month ago. She was not expecting to be riding here at Red Bull Joyride. A late invitation. What do you think that's like, being on the alternate list and finding out last minute you're going to be dropping in? And then not to mention, you're the first rider of the entire competition to take to the course.
Oh, huge. Unfortunate for Natalia Nedjvik going out with injury, but Kathi Kuypers, she is currently studying alternative medicine. So she wants to help with the osteopathy side, be that person for the women to help. So she's currently studying, she's trying to level up for the future, and she's about to drop in.
Yeah, talking to her in Innsbruck, she just wanted to experience the thing that she laid the groundwork for, but here she goes, Red Bull Joyride.
Kathy's main goal was getting a top to bottom run. I spoke to her earlier today and she said, I have no intentions of doing any tricks. I'm here just to lay down my best performance, and for her it is getting through the course. She only just ticked off that final cannon feature in the last 10 minutes of practice.
I was going to ask you about that actually, because I saw a post from her yesterday saying, ooh, it's a little daunting to be dropping into this course. I haven't even ridden the final feature yet. So that's her goal right now, just getting a top to bottom run smooth.
It is. I mean, listen to the song. The riders, another new element that we have is they get to choose their song. So Kathi, she's got that girls just want to have fun, and this is a true representation of her pivotal part of history and being a part of this momentum.
Here we go. Here's that feature she hadn't ridden until this morning. She does it. Great way to start off the competition here. A rider who paved the way for what we now have as a reality. Women slopestyle at the highest level.
You see that head bob coming into the finish corral here. You know she's stoked. Girls just want to have fun. That was an absolutely smooth and perfect run right there. That must have felt so good.
Well, it's symbolic.
You can see the emotions.
To have Kathi out here. And expected to ramp up from here as we have 5 more riders to drop in to the women's field. Talk to me about how intimidating a feature is, like a cannon log. You lose so much speed going up. It's so hard to gauge your speed.
It's also really a blind feature. So not only not having that lip, you just have this trajectory that makes it look like you're sending it into the Whistler Village. You can't see that step down. And a bit hard to gauge the speed.
How many riders who are lined up in the lift line right now do you think would even consider teeing up that final feature?
Not a lot, and what I love so much is for the first time, so many little girls in the audience can actually look up and see these girls on stage, and they're not going to have any limiting beliefs. They know, oh, I've seen a girl out there, I can do it too.
Well, this next rider out of France, Lisa Marie Blanc, she was 5th in Innsbruck, looking to keep that momentum rolling. She climbed the ranks in the lower tiered events to earn herself a spot on this big stage here. Her second Crankworx slopestyle appearance. Moments away from dropping in. Here we go, Lisa Marie Blanc.
Lisa's dropping in. She's got those fist gloves of mine, the signature kick-ass emoji. She's ready to go for it. T-bog down on that first whale tail step down feature.
Yeah, Lisa getting a trick off on that first one. That's one of the things that we've seen. All right there, going deep, able to hold on to it. Quite an exciting moment right there, but as I was saying, getting a trick off of every jump is so key. We saw that play a role in Innsbruck there with a perfect backflip.
Sending that huge backflip. Lisa is running 24-inch tires. She's one of the smaller girls out there. She's got those small wheels, and she said that backflip on that middle jump was her goal of today.
Oh, listen to this. You mentioned the riders get to choose their song. She's listening to Thomas Lemoyne's song right here, La Haute, the rapper Lil Moyne. Here we go, Lisa Marie Blanc, about ready to put this thing through the finish line. Can she stomp the cannon log? There we go, one-hander.
Very clean run from Lisa. Only a year and a half on the mountain bike scene. She came from freestyle BMX. Tune in. She's a wheelie boss on Instagram. Very incredible story.
You could really tell that blind aspect of the cannon log drop feature as she was coming into the village there, that shot from behind. All you can see is the valley partying down below.
A year and a half on mountain bikes, and you're dropping into Red Bull Joyride. Not bad progression.
It is an awesome start for Lisa. She's the Red Bull rookie currently in the standings, and to get your first run down, she's now going to have the confidence. She's delivered on this backflip. She's had a few T-bogs, so she's now going to have that ability to step up on her second run.
I love the fact that the riders get to choose their song. We got to do this for every event. It's the best.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that that wasn't a feature back in the BMX days. That was always the thing, you know, you practice to your song, you get in that head space, you can really lock in on it.
I wonder if they can actually hear that out there while they're competing.
I saw it. You got to think they can't hear it a little bit for sure, especially right when they're about to drop in and it's quiet, the calm before the storm. I was actually at the top of the course during practice and I saw Lemoyne up there pumping up Lisa Marie. And then she drops into a song that he recorded. There's a look right side of your screen right now of our judging panel. You're seeing all these riders. They have competed in Crankworx slopestyle. Anton Thielander on the right there. Peter Henke, Jeff Gulovich, Connor McFarland. We got our head judge off screen right there. On top of your screen, Grant Chopperfielder. It's a big deal. You know, we've got a lot of big deals taking place this year, but you know, one of them, women into slopestyle, but also having a judging panel comprised of all former competitors in Crankworx slopestyle is really important. You know, putting some tricks in there into this run. She's able to beat out Kathi Kuypers there. Lisa Marie Blanc sitting on the score to beat as we get a look at Natasha Miller, the youngster out of BC, Canada, loaded into the cabin, ready to drop in. One thing I love about her riding is her bar spins. I love the fact that she's young. She missed the last couple stops because she was finishing school. Let's see what she can pull off here on home turf.
Natasha dropping in. She is one of the most cool, calm, and collected riders. Her key is those extended, what you just saw, suicide no-hander down on the first step-down feature.
Yeah, nice getting the trick off on every feature so far right there. Keeping it going with a tuck no-hander to toboggan.
Getting those combinations in. She is a prodigy of the Air Rec Center, just training down the road. Bar spin to T-bog.
She's so casual with those bar spins.
Yeah, she's got that pinch on the seat with her knees locked in. She's so comfortable letting those bars fly.
Another huge extended tuck no-hander.
I mean, this is the key right now at this point, tricking absolutely every one of those 11 features.
She's always coming in for a full pull run. She's a quiet achiever, and she has tricked almost every feature. Natasha.
Well, that's the biggest roar we've heard out of the crowd so far, and for good reason. Natasha Miller throwing down a banger run, tricking all the features. She was fourth at the first stop this season, one step away from the podium. I know she has what it takes to get on the box here today.
There is such a history with the girls about how we made it to this moment, and Brett Reeder's gold course was actually, she was the very first girl to do a top to bottom on that course. So when we go back to the Trailblazers, she might be young, but she is a Trailblazer.
Last year, she took the bronze medal at the Reeder slopestyle at Silver Star, so she's tasted a bronze medal before. What can she pull off here at the highest level? Not only the fact this is the Slopestyle World Championship, the premier series, but the biggest one of those events right here, Red Bull Joyride. I'm sure she's got plenty of friends and family cheering her on right now in her home province.
Definitely. It's so cool to see these women rising to the occasion. So much pressure, so much going on here. And there, Natasha Miller going into first place with a 10-point advantage over second to 78.60. A huge score. So the judges rewarding doing tricks off of every set. That's something that we hope the riders up top are looking at and going to take into account.
We saw her in the first round do that double bar spin, so she has room to elevate for a second run.
So where we are with the women's field right now, as we've seen, it's very important to trick every single feature. Easier said than done, but we do have a few riders in the field who have taken it to the next level this season by adding rotations. One rider who is very capable of adding a rotation to a run here and capable of tricking every single feature is the next rider loaded into the cabin, Harriet Burbidge-Smith out of Australia, second in Rotorua, third in Cannes, so podium perfection in the last couple times we've seen her, but she was absent from the list in Innsbruck.
She did, so she had a concussion and took the smart approach to sit that out in the last round in Innsbruck. She's about to drop into this finish, a huge mural of her on the SRAM when she comes in the finish.
It's on, here we go, Harriet Burbidge-Smith dropping in.
She ticked off that T-bog down, getting a huge extended tuck no-hander into the dirt well towel. Suicide no-hander down.
Yeah, definitely. This is where I'm expected to see some big moves out of Haz. Nice, lazy one hand.
Here we go, what does she got? Yep.
There she goes. Flipping, oh, big overshoot on that one, unfortunately. Looked like a big impact there.
And actually seen has landed those flips in practice, in qualifying. She was the first girl to do it top to bottom all the way down. The fans are giving her credit to get her motivated for a second run.
What's it like to see your friend? You've known her since she was 8 years old. You saw her stomping those flips in practice. You know she has it. What's it like to see her not able to be pulling it off here when it counts the most?
It's such a shame for her. She would have wanted to throw down a clean run first, so she had that ability to step up the second run, but she's a performer. She has actually won a BMX Racing World Championship as a junior, so she knows what it's like to perform, and she's a warrior. She'll step back up.
So looking at kind of what happened there on that replay, that jump that she was doing that flip on was not a straight jump. That is a hip, and she stayed a little bit inside, and when you go inside on the hip, it shortens the distance. You can see she's to the rider's left there as she comes around, so it shortened the jump a little bit. And it wasn't so much that she over-rotated, but she went a lot longer on the landing than she thought. And by the time she came down on the ground, she was way off the back and wasn't able to hold on.
She's coming with a 30 score.
Well, thank goodness we'll have another opportunity for Harriet Burbidge-Smith to improve on that run, but we have our next rider loaded up right now. Alma Wiggberg making waves in this inaugural season in women's slopestyle on the Crankworx World Tour. Second in Rotorua, third in Cairns. Did not compete in.
You see her visualizing and winding up. What do you see there, Caroline? I don't know.
Oh, she's always one of those really quiet performers. Has a different approach to, say, a Robin Gooms. She visualizes her run. She takes a while to warm up to the course, so she makes sure she's so calculated. She learns the features, then she extends her tricks. But Alma is one that I've never seen her mess up a flip. She's absolutely dialed. She trains with the Swedish crew, and she has one of the highest scoring variations of the girls out there.
So, big moment right there in Innsbruck. She took second, and you know what? If she would have landed that, I think it would have been 2 wins in a row. She missed the first stop of the season in New Zealand, but she showed up in Australia, took the win, and she's the rider who's been doing 360s, and that has been scoring so high, but she also has that backflip bar spin variation. Can she find a spot on this Red Bull Joyride course to do her banger trick? Starting out smooth there, bar spin up, suicide no-hander down.
Coming into the first turn, Alma's been lining up these backflip combinations down. Huge extended steezy tire grab. And here it is, the flip bar, getting perfect execution.
That's actually what we saw her warming up, leaning back, throwing the bars. There's another backflip combo with the flip can-can.
She posted on her Instagram, actually, a flip bar two-can not long ago. So she got a big bag of tricks, doing that 360 up onto the surgeon's tail.
Yes.
She lost her speed a little bit, but she was able to get a couple of pedals and keeping her run going.
The speed has actually been the hardest part for the ladies, getting from the spine to that quarter feature. She's coming into this final feature. What can we see from Alma?
Can she trick? Yeah, she does it!
Huge extended suicide no-hander, fist pumping across the line. Amazing, amazing run for Alma right there.
And that is going to be a high score and a solid first run performance for Alma in the bag.
Taking a page out of Natasha Miller's book there, finishing that run of the suicide no-hander on the cannon. The score to beat right now is 78.6. We talk about strategy. You need to trick as many of these features as you possibly can. And right now we see Alma Wiggberg not only doing that, but adding more technical tricks. I gotta think we're seeing a run to beat right here.
This actually could be one of the highest scores that we've ever seen from the ladies. She had the inverted trick, she had the 360s, she had combinations, and she still has more. I've seen her do a suicide no-hander, 2-bar. That could be the elevation in the next run.
Yeah, we did see that in Cairns. She was in first place after the first rounds. And then Robin Gooms was able to one-up her, and she had to dig deeper into that bag of tricks, so we know she's got more.
All right, score to beat at 78.6. What's it going to be here for Alma Wiggberg? Oh, yeah! All the way up to 89.4. Alma Wiggberg into the hot seat.
Impressive. That has to, from the athlete's perspective, take the weight off her shoulders.
Yeah, the learning curve is very, very steep. Alma was looking composed from the top to the bottom, making a little bit of a mistake on that whale tail, but able to recover, no problems.
So Shealan, I would say the most consistent rider we've seen in the field. Yeah, there we go. We're talking about her. If she was a video game character right there, you would be picking her for her consistency. She was 5th at the first 2 stops and then cracked into the podium at the last stop, 3rd in Innsbruck. And you know what? She has those upright, really technical variation tricks, almost borrowing from freestyle motocross. This course definitely leaving a lot of opportunities for that. You can see her incredibly poised and focused in the gate right now, running through her plan.
This is the perfect conditions for a rider like Shealan. Very limited amount of wind. So for a rider that's doing more straight tricks, she doesn't want any wind, and this is going to be a perfect moment for her.
Such a good point. It's very important to wait for that perfect moment to drop an X up off the start drop for Shealan Reno.
She got that tri-star no-foot one-hander down and a combo off the dirt whale tail. Shealan Reno comes from a BMX background, but she has found herself on the slopestyle world stage with a big steezy tire grab. Tuck no-hander to X-up combination. She's known for her no-foot can combos. We could see one coming up right now.
Oh! Yeah, looks like a pendulum right there. That's when you do no-foot can to no-foot can on the other side, all in one air. Gets the bar spin up the whale tail. All right, does she have speed? Yes. She gets down the drop, no problem.
That was a great recovery from Shealan with that steezy knack over the spine. Missing a trick on the quarter pipe, but she's coming regained. She had a huge crash off this cannon feature in practice.
Oh! Finishes it off with a tuck no-hander off the cannon. I love to see Shealan Reno stepping outside of her comfort zone in that run. Something we haven't seen from her yet.
She was. This morning she woke up, she said her body was sore. She was going to warm up into the day, see if she was capable of doing a run, and we've just seen that she stepped up to the front, the body is feeling good, and she managed to get her highest scoring trick out there at the pendulum.
Yeah, Shealan looking really good from top to bottom, able to get combos off. She tricked nearly every feature. I think maybe only the quarter pipe was the only feature I didn't see a trick. Look at these combos. There's that tri-star, straight into a one-footed X-up.
Now these are tricks we expect to see from Shealan Reno right here. These are tricks that we've seen from her all season. Right now, she steps out of her comfort zone, stepping up onto that on-off box with the bar spin.
Such a great recovery on top. She's a rider that's invested into the 2025 World Tour. She's bought herself a compound. So one of the few girls that actually has a compound, has airbags, has these training facilities to do and progress the sport in a safe way.
And for a rider who kind of just stumbled into mountain biking recently to now find herself in this position, I can't wait to see what the future has in store for her, especially considering that new training compound. A lot of quick advancements in the rate of progression here in the women's field. I think that's what has been the most exciting part, is from event to event. You see these riders push themselves so hard, and we're really looking forward to seeing what that score is going to be here for Shealan Reno. The score to beat is an 89.4 from Alma Wiggberg. Alma Wiggberg packing in those rotation tricks. Those upside down variations are going to be really tough to beat out here today.
Shealan had the opportunity to ride the Joyride course at the end of last year. They opened up the course to the ladies, and she was one of the few that took the opportunity, and she loves to go out there with that just fun riding style. She does not ride defensive at all. She's always not offensive. She's always playful. When I used to race her in BMX, she'd hang a ride into the men's pro section, get disqualified. So I'm not surprised that she's wound up here in slopestyle. She always did it her way.
All of you are like the outcasts and the rebels from BMX finding mountain bike slopestyle. And now Shealan Reno finding herself in the top 3 with a 78.
Yeah, standing on the podium would be a dream, I'm sure, for Shealan Reno. She definitely has some stuff that we saw not that long ago in Innsbruck, so she's got some tricks up her sleeve. She can up her game for sure and maybe move up another couple of steps. But Alma Wiggberg looking so solid and unbeatable to this point.
Caroline, look at that gap between 3rd and 2nd.
I mean, this is going to be a podium battle. We've also got Harriet, who crashed out in her first run. So I'm going to see her trying to put her name in that position as well for the podium.
Oh, it sounds like Bree is standing by with Alma Wiggberg. Bree?
I'm here with our current leader, Alma. Alma, how nervous were you dropping into that run?
I was a bit nervous, but felt good this morning, so not too bad.
You had such a composed run, so many tricks. What else have you got in store for the second run?
I have a few things. I missed the quarter pipe and I want to do some other things, but we'll see. Yeah.
What's it going to take to win here?
Sorry?
What does it take to win on a course like this at Red Bull Joyride?
Like tricking all the features, just, I don't know, it's different, it's big, so it's hard to feel comfortable, I guess.
Well, you're in the lead. Best of luck.
Thank you.
She's in the lead, and that's going to be tough to beat. But as you mentioned, Caroline, there's riders out there who, one in particular, didn't get her first run stump, Harriet Burbidge-Smith. Does she have what it takes to take out that 89.4? And will the riders be able to shuffle their positions out there on the podium? They've got one more run to figure that out. I wanted to remind you as well at home that we have the Rider of the Day poll running. A little update, we're going to be checking in on this, but now that we just finished run number 1 for the women, it's officially open for voting. And we got votes coming in right now. I'm assuming people haven't started voting yet, so I'm reminding you to get in there, because Alma Wiggberg, that backflip barsman, that's what I would be punching in right now, number 5. She is just on another level at this moment.
Voting for your favorite, it could be the biggest send, huge crash, never been done tricks. It's up to you.
Or if you just like somebody's story, you like the fact that Shealan Reno used to get disqualified in BMX races for poaching the big jumps, that's reason enough to vote for Shealan. I dig it. Whatever your reason, it doesn't matter. Just get your vote in.
Yeah, I love that story. If there's any reason to get a vote, it's because you're a badass.
Well, an earlier start than originally scheduled out here today, but we have a classic Red Bull Joyride crowd out here in full force. Run number 1 for the women in the books. That means one thing. We get to prepare ourselves for run number 1 in the men's field here coming up shortly. Competition format. Every rider gets 2 runs with only their top score counting. So we see riders going for it in both runs. If you've never been to Whistler, British Columbia, well, you gotta get here if you love mountain biking. That's one reason. There's plenty other reasons to enjoy this area. Take a look.
Thank you.
Wow. Unreal.
Wow. Ooh. Wow. 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 What's up, everyone? We're doing some sightseeing today here in Whistler. We just came up the gondola. Next, we're gonna go all the way up to the peak. We got no bikes. We're just checking out this absolutely immaculate area. Unreal views. It's gonna be fun.
We're above the clouds. There's snow up here. I hope we get to play with the snow.
We are entering the Cloudbreaker Sky Bridge.
I'm so scared.
Which apparently is disassembled in the winter, which makes it even freakier. Shealan is completely freaked out.
Don't bounce it. Why does it sway so much?
I actually didn't think it was that shaky, and when I got on, I was like, wow. Had to hold the railings.
Bro, it actually moved a lot. Okay, we go for it.
Run.
You go in front of me, you go in front of me, you go in front of me. Oh my God.
So after the chairlift ride, we came here to an umbrella bar.
We just had some cider and some poutine.
Pretty sick just to come do some touristy bits before we get into that absolute mentalness of Joyride finals on Saturday. We go peak to peak, you know? It's iconic.
It goes kind of far down and up again, and I've never been to Blackcomb, so that's gonna be new for me. Well excited to see the view.
Pretty epic views down. We had the glass-bottomed gondola as well, as you see all the way down, which is pretty sweet. The views are incredible, something you should definitely tick off when you come to Whistler. We're looking for the marmots. Whoa, I think I've spotted one. 100%, the real deal right there.
Just so many people, the riders, the volunteers.
Well, a lot of movement to the start list earlier this morning, so I'm actually just as excited as you viewers at home to take a peek at who actually found themselves on the start list today. And there we go. It's official. Lukas Skiöld out of Sweden called up from the alternate list. He'll be the first to drop for the men. And look at this, a lot of BC talent out there, Alan.
Yeah, a ton of BC talent. Max Langille, Griffin Paulson. We've got last year's rider of the day, Ben Thompson. He's here again, going to be representing for the local crowd. And then this is the top 6 that I think have the opportunity to take it. There's no one on here that I could not see standing on the top of the podium at the end of the day today.
Things are going to ramp up as we get to that final page of the start list. Paul Couderc took 2nd out here last year, finally cracking onto the podium. But Tim Bringer and David Godziek will be the final 2 riders to drop. David Godziek with the opportunity to win the Triple Crown if he wins this competition here today. 2024 marked the first time he took a win on the Crankworx Slopestyle World Championship Tour. He's won both events this year. And with the men only competing in 3 events, the fact that they didn't drop into event number 1 means that if you're going to win the Triple Crown, you have to win every single competition you enter on tour. So we'll see that story unfold today, but we're watching Lukas Skiöld called up from the alternate list right now. Missed a couple days of practice. We talked about it earlier with Kathi Kuypers dropping in first. It's always a daunting scenario to find yourself in, and a tough situation to figure out how to play your cards earlier on in the week, what you should be doing, because you don't know, you might find yourself in this cabin ready to drop in.
Yeah, you always got to be ready, especially being that alternate. It's kind of fun, you're just there enjoying it, but then boom, here you are an hour before the event starts, you're about to drop in on the biggest run of your life.
Emil Johansson with a practice crash. Best friends, Lukas Skiöld and Emil Johansson. You know Emil will be along the sidelines cheering for Skiöld right now. Riding buddies back at home in Falun, Sweden. A lot of training comes down to this moment right here. Lukas Skiöld on course.
Gets a nice tail up on that flat drop, having to take a pedal in there. There's a tail up the other direction. So mixing up the direction, that's definitely going to add to his scores. The judges are watching closely. Oh, misses a trick there, goes long on the hip. Looked like he was going for a truck driver. Now this is important, okay? His originally planned run is shot. He needs to just focus and get to the bottom. He needs something he can build on. And Cam, that is something to build on right there. Backflip, tail whip to bar spin.
Really amazing execution so far. Lukas, he's the alternate, but he was prepared and ready for this moment.
Yeah, he looks prepared, front flipping up in the whale tail. Oh, and going long on that one, sitting down, missing the quarter pipe. That'll be interesting to see how the judges take account for that in his score. But here he comes into this cannon. What's he got, Cam?
Lukas Skiöld finishing this one off with a 360 tuck no-hander. Gotta love the persistence in this run. It would have been easy to throw in the towel early on, but he persisted, and we've seen that in the past really help riders out. You never know what's going to happen at Red Bull Joyride with the rest of the field. He's probably going to be happy that he pursued this run.
And such a fast switch of mindset. 15 minutes to prepare, knowing that your best friend has just stepped out and instantly you're in one of the biggest shows of your career.
Well, Lukas Skiöld rising to the occasion. You can see maybe a little bit rusty, moments that he will have the opportunity to brush up in run number 2, but I would say that's a great way to pop the cork on run number 1 for this men's field.
Yeah, absolutely. Just getting to the bottom and having that run that you can build on. Even though, yeah, he was a little shaky, he made a couple mistakes, had to take a pedal right there early, but getting that opposite tail whip off, that was an amazing first section up on this course. We saw down here on the hips, he was going for the truck driver. That's a 360 with a bar spin the other way. It looked like he was over-rotating, so he had to bail out of the bar spin part. And then this, the recovery, the backflip, bar spin to tail whip.
Biggest banger in his run, that flip bar to whip. Moments after the biggest mistake in his run, and I love that mindset.
Yeah, showing great composure. These athletes, they train for roughly 10 to 15 years to be able to be on this stage and have the ability. So he was able to quickly change his change run and recover from those little mistakes.
And big rotating variation to cap this run off. 360 tuck no-hander on a feature that's got to be the most tech on the course. That final cannon, 62.2 will be the score to beat currently from Lukas Skiöld.
Always love opening up the day with a complete run. So far, everyone's made it from top to bottom except for Haz, unfortunately, but we will see her back for a second run a little bit later.
Well, now we have the Italian ready to take run number 1 out here. It's great to see him back. You know, battling injury ever since last year. We had that big course hold. He fell in the final feature, broke his pelvis, had to get surgery, recovered from that, had an injury in his bicep, damaged a nerve, and we saw him finally back in action at the last stop in Innsbruck, but crashing on the second feature in the first run in Innsbruck. So it's great to see him back. He has tasted podium glory before. His last podium was third in Innsbruck 2021. He has what it takes. He puts in the work, and he's crawled back from injury so many times. The fact that he's even in the start gate right now is exciting, Alan.
Yeah, definitely. Torquato's not gonna lay it down that easy. Battling that arm injury, just kind of dealing with weakness. Not something you can see, not something you can work on. It's a nerve thing. He's just got to kind of let it happen. But he's adapting to it, and he's out here today. He's ready to go out here on this Joyride course.
Torquato Testa, here we go. The Italian dropping in.
Gets a truck driver on that first flat drop. Tuck no-hander. What's he got on the step down? Tuck no-handed backflip. So nicely choreographed right there. I love it when they flow like that. And there, a big corked out 450 on the first hip. Straight into a cash roll.
Coming into that vertical wall. That is incredible.
Oh! Huge double backflip. Coming around this berm. Up the whale tail, gets a nice tail up, has to take a couple of cranks, straight flip off. This is an amazing run from Torquato Testa.
Oh yeah!
Was that a no-foot can-can two-tail up?
I think it
like
was.
He had a little combo there. Okay, slips the pedal on the tail up. Hopefully the judges don't dock him too much there.
He's got time to recover here for the cannon log. Backflip, was it a backflip Superman? Off of the cannon. Oh, I'm looking forward to a replay of that. What a great flip combo to cap off this run for Torquato Testa.
Talk about silencing those fears. The only way to face the fears is to literally step back up to the plate, and he would have had huge emotions just flowing out of him knowing that he put that behind him, the story of last year.
Yeah, Caroline, I mean, it's been a year since he's had a full top-to-bottom run on a Crankworx course. It ended here last year. What does that mean as an athlete to be able to be back in the place where adversity started and really just kind of redeem yourself?
It is. Injury and trauma, it's a little bit like onion rings. You got to peel back layer by layer, and you never know what's really affecting you. And one of the best ways is literally to step back up on the bike, to do the trick that claimed you, to get back onto Joyride, and to just peel back layer by layer. So today's going to be a huge opportunity that he just unfolded.
I really like that link in the 4-pack, the cork 7 to the right into the cash roll to the right. I was wondering if he was going to go cork 7 to the left on the Super Buddha there. He goes for double backflip. And I was really curious what he was going to do on the spine. And we're going to get a look at that right here. Did he get that backflip no-footed can to tail up? That, if he did do that trick, that was the one that took him out of the last competition in Austria. Here's that spine there. Yeah, he gets that little no-footed can so quickly, but in slow motion, we were able to confirm that was that combo. Yeah, backflip Superman. That's pretty great. We see him doing backflip no-footed cans a lot. The backflip Superman off of the cannon. I'm hoping somebody got a photo of that from the side. I love that.
Yeah, such a hard trick to generate that flip rotation off of that cannon log. We were talking about a little earlier, there's actually no transition. It's a flat lip. So to get that flip going, he's having to yank the bike super hard, just diving in backwards off of the cannon into the valley.
He's got a smile on his face. He's relieved.
He's got to be so stoked. So much coming together, so much in the last year to get to this point.
Yeah, not only is he celebrating that 73.4, he's celebrating that run and the fact that he was able to take a run with all the injuries he's been battling the last year. Great to see out of Torquato Testa, who is currently the man to beat. And the next rider to drop now will be 26-year-old Canadian Max Langille. Max has spent so much time in this area, and now he's been spending a lot of time on our Crankworx World Tour. Another rider who had an injury last season, came back from that broken foot. He also had a crash in practice course, in Innsbruck. Just moments before the final, he was poised to really make waves, and now he had to wait a month, but he's here now. Max Langille drop it in.
He's got that opposite 360 there, regular 360 tuck no-hander. Superman C-grab Indian backflip on the step down. That is such a small jump to do a trick like that.
And this first hip's actually been the hardest speed that the rider's been struggling on. This same jump was actually where Max went down on over rotation. So we're seeing it again here. He's going to go up for a second run, but unfortunate. That speed coming into that first hip is a challenge.
Oh, it's such a shame he's going to have to start from scratch on that run. I love that backflip Superman C-grab Indian air on that step down feature. I saw him do that in practice, and I thought, you know what? That is creative. That's unique. You don't see that very often. We're seeing it again right there. Nicely framed between those trees with the sky in the backdrop. Yeah. Great moves here, but unfortunately, you say this is a difficult jump to gauge speed on, Caroline.
Yeah, so we crashed 2 of these cash rolls in practice, one an under rotation, one an over rotation. To be just 20 minutes down the road from here, I mean, he's used to performing at home when the grandstands are empty, and now he's on the biggest stage in slopestyle.
That jump that he was doing it on, we keep calling it a hip. Just so you know what that is, that's when the landing is at a different angle than the lip. So you actually have to turn your trajectory in the air. So when doing a rotation trick, like he was doing a cash roll, which is a front flip with a 360 rotation in it, he's actually having to do a 450-degree rotation. So almost intentionally over-rotating. So very, very difficult there.
Next rider, Alex Alanko, out of Sweden. This will be his 10th Crankworx appearance. He was absent all last season. We hadn't seen him since 2022. He has tasted podium glory, a 3rd in New Zealand 2019, a 12th at the last stop in Innsbruck, but he's capable of way more than that 12th. Let's see what he's got.
Oh, slips the pedal right there.
Unfortunate for Alex Alanko. He had a broken bike this week. It has not gone to plan.
Yeah, we saw him reaching out on social media looking for a frame earlier in the week. Was able to get one. Unfortunately, yeah, slipped those pedals there. I didn't see exactly what happened. Sometimes when you come back on with that tail whip, the pedals can be in a vertical spot and your foot doesn't go right on, and then when you impact the ground, your foot can bounce off the pedal when you land.
That's going to be a moment he's got to trust his performer for the next run.
Max Fredriksson, the technical magician, a 4th here last year. 3 third places. He knows what it takes. Let's see if he can put it all together. Get your calculators out and see how many tricks he can fit into these combos.
Nollie 360 off the flat drop, tricking everything. Triple truck driver in on that little step down.
Don't know or you can't tell. That's like
double backflip bar spin and tuck no hander on the hip. Yeah. Was that 3 tail whips, Cam?
Yeah.
Triple downside tail whip. Play now.
Oh, he's on 4 backflip double tail whip.
With the 4th out last year, he capitalized on that 1-run performance.
So good right here. Getting that 360 invert, dropping in up on the spine. So creative with the handlebars, 360 toboggan to bar spin.
Absolutely everything going to plan here for Max Fredriksson, and one more opportunity to cap off this run here, coming into the cannon log. What's he got, Alan?
1, 2, looks like a 360 double bar spin. He probably was going for that triple, but really, really clean from top to bottom. He's got to be stoked, knowing he's got more in the bag.
High-fiving the fans, he's stoked. This is truly the moment where sport transcends. Mountain biking is global, and the fans have showed up.
Well, that's a trademark Max Fredriksson run right there, the type of run that we've seen play well for him in the past. It's great to see him back from injury. Wasn't able to compete in Australia. Took the time to recover. And if anybody puts in time, it's this man right here. 6 days a week at the gym, every waking hour it seems at the park training. And that's what it takes to make tricks like that triple tail up look easy and that backflip double tail up look easy. Don't be fooled. These tricks are so hard, and he packed it all into this run.
Yeah, there's an opposite 360 up there, so really packing in the combinations and the creativity, spinning both directions.
The judges are going to be watching that. The height, technicality, the opposites, execution, flow, variation. There's so many components that go into what the judges are looking for.
Exactly. I mean, execution is one that Max Fredriksson really leans on. Just the control and poise that he has in his runs. 84.4. We got a new leader. His name is Max Fredriksson.
Yeah, Max is happy with that score for sure. He's going to be going back up to the top with a lot of confidence and something really strong to build on for this next run.
I love to see the crowd showing up. It is a global language. A lot of people in the crowd don't know what slopestyle is, but they know that sport has an underdog and a favorite, and they're here to see it.
Well, if you haven't watched any events this season, I can sum up the story for Tom Isted really simply. He either crashes both runs or he ends up on the podium. That has been his track record recently, and he's due for a stomped run and a return to the podium. And I guarantee you, he's gonna pull out all the stops in this run right here. Tom Isted on course.
Straight flip off that drop. Such a small drop, having to pull so hard. Oh, he gets that. Okay, Tom. Time to start the day over. Forget it. Didn't happen.
Got another run.
Normally worms his way out of it or does some push-ups.
Sometimes he stands up, does a backflip. He's like a cat when he crashes too, though. Look at this, how smooth he's able to get out of this over-rotated backflip 360, AKA Cork 7 on the step down. A heavy move, but definitely a move that he's incredibly capable of. He's gonna do one for the fans here and put this thing down to the bottom.
Such a shame for Tom. He's been one of the biggest supporters of the ladies out there when he's focusing on his own game. Both him and Nicolai are the first ones to tow the ladies in, help us with our speed checks. So truly a gentleman, unfortunate for him today.
A British gentleman.
Yeah, looking at that over rotation, that's one of the things that makes it hard to do a trick like that on a step down. When you're doing a trick on a step down, you can't actually see the landing. So that really makes it hard to judge your timing on that rotation. It looked like he just over rotated the flip portion of that trick.
Be sure to watch Tom's next run. We talked about this morning. He's known for his spins, and I asked him, Tom, how many spins do you actually do in a run? And he said probably 10 plus.
I think I'd get dizzy.
Yeah.
I'm get dizzy for sure.
What do the gymnasts call it? The twisties?
The twisties, yeah. I get the twisties, like, you know, doing things like bending over to pick up my shoe.
Oh, we'll look forward to seeing Tom Isted get back to the top of the course for run number 2. Next rider in the gate, Griffin Paulson right here. He's definitely solidified himself as somebody you can expect to see at every event on the World Tour. He knows how to set up his bike. Let's take a look at how he prepared for today's event.
What's up, everyone? My name's Griffin Paulson. I'm so stoked to be here at the Red Bull Joyride 2024. I'm gonna take you guys through a quick walkthrough of some of the new features on course. First things first, these berms are huge. You'll see them all throughout the course and on almost no other course in the world to this scale. Massive ones. All right, guys, here we are at the Maxxis Surgeon Table. This massive on-off feature is sure to keep the riders on their toes as it takes them into the bottom of the course. This year, they've changed the position. It's pointing a little more downhill, and it's even a little bigger for us to do our biggest moves on. Gonna be sick. This feature is 16 feet high, 48 feet long, and has a 17-foot drop, which you could say is 7 Maxxis icons up, about 9 Fedkos across, and 69 hockey pucks down.
Pucks aside, super stoked to be back in Whistler. The biggest event of the year. Course is looking unreal. Really look forward to the show. There's a couple of things that's different this year. One of the standout ones is RockShox's wall ride on the quarter pipe. It sort of fills 2 purposes. It blocks the sun, which is sick because it's one of the features we had problems with previous year. But it also allows riders to hit the wall ride if they want to.
And just like that, here we are at the last feature, the SRAM Bones. This iconic slopestyle feature has yet to be seen as the last hit on course, and I cannot wait to see what the boys throw down to finish off their run here at Red Bull Joyride.
Well, Griffin Paulson still looking for a strong result this season. 11th at the last 2 stops. This is 11th Crankworx appearance. Best result, a 6th in New Zealand at the start of last season. Crashing out last year here in Joyride on a 360 double tail up. Looking to make good on that right now.
These riders looking really good. Griffin Paulson, definitely one of those riders that I think are due for a complete run. There he goes.
Yeah, he gets it this year.
450 double tail and straight into the backflip tip. Oh, onto it!
I thought he was going to be able to save that.
He started off that run with so much heat. A comment he mentioned to me, something you said to me earlier, which I thought was funny, was that dirt whale-tail has no place on a slopestyle course, but hey, it's in the course and I'm going to make the most of it. And we just saw him start off with so much intensity.
Yeah, let's see what happened here. He gets the tail around, first foot's on the pedal good, second, he does case just a little bit, and yeah, it just sends him into a fishtail and he wasn't able to hold on to it.
I thought for sure he was going to be eyeing up that next jump. It turned into a bit of a tank slapper there. Looked like a snowboard catching his edge.
Tank slapper, that is the best terminology.
Ben Thompson, last year's 7th place finisher, also the winner of the Rider of the Day last year. Let's learn some more about this BC youngster, Ben Thompson. Ben Thompson from Squamish, BC. This kid grew up watching Red Bull Joyride, had dreams of competing.
I always wished, for sure, and that was always the goal, but didn't ever really think I would be riding here, to be honest. It's pretty surreal.
Wow, it looks so good. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I like what we're seeing from this young slopestyle up-and-comer.
Kind of taking it day by day, event by event, and there's definitely been ups and downs, but I'm happy to be where I am and realize why I'm here, and yeah, enjoy it. That's the biggest thing. Enjoy every moment. I first got into mountain biking slopestyle. Obviously, living here, it's pretty hard not to. I was big into hockey when I was super little, and I kind of went back and forth. I quickly realized the hockey route maybe wasn't going to go as far as I would have liked. I'm pretty happy that I ended up going the biking route. I wouldn't be anywhere where I am without my family, parents, brother, and obviously all the boys around me. I looked up to all these people, and pretty much everyone I'm riding with now, I had posters on my wall. It's pretty cliche, but dream big, man. If you can imagine it and see yourself doing it and work hard, it's achievable. Keep at it, and if you really want it, you'll be here. There's definitely a lot more I want to tick off, and I'm nowhere close to where I want to be in the end. I want to be on the box one day. I know that takes a lot, and I'm working towards that, but that's a big goal for sure.
How can it not hit you where the blood pumps when you see a young Ben Thompson alongside the Red Bull Joyride course, watching the riders, dreaming about one day being there, and then last year it all coming together with him being the Rider of the Year, placing 7th, and now he's solidified himself as one of the most consistent riders on tour, dropping in for his 2nd Red Bull Joyride appearance in front of a hometown crowd. He has been looking so incredibly smooth in practice, a rider who I would expect to see on tour for quite some time if he keeps this up. Here we go, Ben Thompson on course.
Gets that fast plant, 360 off the flat drop. There goes the tail whip into a triple bar spin.
Benny T shares his compound with all the riders. He is one of the fan favorites for a reason.
Oh, can he stay? Can he get enough speed? He gets a little bar spin off. He's able to stay on course, so plan A out the window. Let's see what he's got for plan B. Yeah. Massive stretched out Superman C-crab backflip, straight back on it.
Coming up on the surgeon table.
Bar spin up. Oh, flat drop front flip on the 17-foot drop. Triple bar spin backflip on the spine. Alley-oop on the quarter pipe, so he's looking pretty good. He's recovered nicely from that mistake on the hips.
Ben manages to get himself in some very flexible positions with these front flip bar spins and front foot.
Come on! Oh! Big slam for Ben right there. He looks okay. That is the thing about front flips. When you're coming around on a front flip, you cannot see anything. It is completely blind. So when he came up just that little bit short, it actually increased his rotation and sends his body weight straight over the handlebars. He looks okay.
If you were wondering why we reacted so much to him landing that front flip off the flat drop, you got to see why when he didn't land the front flip off of the cannon. We're aware of how small the margin of error is for that trick and what the consequences are for ending up on the wrong side of that margin for error. Look back at the cannon log. Oh, we talked about how hard it is to judge speed for cannon. You lose speed going up it, it's incredibly blind. And then add to that, the front flip. You get to see your landing so late. He didn't realize he was coming up short until he was already making contact with the ground there with his back wheel. And then, of course, with his body. It's great to see him pop up so quick. Tough kid, Ben Thompson.
Awesome to see the camaraderie between the boys going straight up to him. He's got such a nice sentimental feature on his bike if you get a glimpse at it. He's got his family, his friends, the boys, these little Polaroid photos. Yeah, that's what the sport's about.
Yes, look what we got next. Last year's silver medalist from Red Bull Joyride, Paul Couderc. I always say this, it's because I believe that one of the most exciting riders to ever throw a leg over a mountain bike, thinks outside the box in his film parts, and knows how to put himself on the box in Crankworx slope style. It was a long time coming for him to break onto the podium a year ago. I would love to see him do it again. What's he got for us here in 2024?
Straight flip off the drop.
So small for that.
Bar spin backflip. 360 tail down. He's looking really good. Now this is where his ability to spin both directions may come into play on these hips. And there, corked out opposite 720 into the regular 720. So spinning both directions, 720 degrees. 360 double tail. He's able to hold on to it.
I think so.
Three double whip.
Going down on the 360 double tail whip.
So unfortunate for Paul.
That run was going so well. It was bringing back memories from his second place run last year. That cork 7 to the right, into the upright 7 to the left. Things were going great. So curious what he was planning for the rest of that run as we take a look back to where things went wrong. That 360 double tail whip.
Probably a trick that he lands so often, but in these pressure moments, this high-performing sport, you need technical, tactical, physical, and mental, all components to come together on the day, and sometimes it doesn't go well.
Yeah, it looked like that tail was coming around so fast that when he did catch it initially, it almost bounced his foot off the pedal, and it almost looked like his foot was just under the pedal, so he kind of froze and locked up, and it caused him to over-rotate. Yeah, just not able to recover from that.
Well, this next rider is so dangerous. This guy has the potential to really change the game here today with some of our top riders bowing out of the competition. He was a 5th here just a year ago. His best result was a 3rd in Innsbruck last season. And he makes everything look so easy. He's been dipping back into some tricks that he kind of left at the bottom of the bag. Revisiting the cash rolls this year, he's got some of the most stylish cash rolls we've ever seen. Not afraid to do 360 tail whips off of flat drops. I would love to see him sprinkle sprinkle that onto this run. The score to beat right now, an 84.4 for Max Fredriksson. Does Lukas Huppert from Switzerland have what it takes to shake things up?
Yeah, Lukas with an absolutely deep bag of tricks. So many new tricks for him this season. He has been killing it. Definitely looking to get himself back up on the podium.
I saw him earlier today and he said, I've ticked off all the tricks I wanted to do in practice and I'm happy, I'm feeling it. So to take the pressure off early in practice, he's banged those tricks out. I'm excited to see his run.
There we go, a 6th and a 7th at the last 2 stops. Let's see if he can improve on that here.
360 bar spin in, 360 toboggan up the step down. What's he got? Yeah. There's that nice cork 7 on the step down. Looks like he's feeling comfortable, adjusting his speed, gets that double downside tail whip.
There's that cash roll, so much amplitude.
Massive cranking in and using all that speed into amplitude. Front flip double bar spin, able to hold on to it. He got up right here, 360 downside tail whip.
Did we get it? Truck driver down.
Truck driver down, so he's got more in the back there, we know. Bar spin flip, hold on.
This
Rider's going a little long on that one.
That quarter pipe feature, we're yet to see anyone take that wall ride.
Yeah, it looks like the speed is not quite there to get up the wall ride, but he did get a 540 on the quarter, but here it's all about the cannon.
Oh, cash roll on the cannon, no way, cleans it, perfect!
The rotation on that cash roll was so slow and controlled. Lukas Huppert slamming into the crowd. Look at how stoked he is. We knew that that cannon was going to push the limits on where these riders were able to do their highlight tricks, and Lukas Huppert doing just that here.
And if you ever want that finisher moment with the risk versus reward, it's going to be on that last cannon feature, and he knows that it's worth the risk here at Joyride.
How do you up the level on a cannon log feature? Well, you put it at the bottom of Red Bull Joyride, and you say, all right, have at it, riders. They rise to the occasion. Here we go, cork 7 on the dirt-to-dirt step down. That's the trick we saw Tom Isted throw his run away with. For the second jump here in this 4-pack, look how high he goes on this cast roll.
Yeah, right here, he starts cranking in and just yanks back. Look at how high, he's almost double the height of that landing.
Straight front flip, double bar spin.
Yeah, slightly over-rotated there, but he was able to recover and keep it going.
How about this right here? Look at how smooth he landed. You know, I talked to him earlier in the week. He said, yeah, for a year, I kind of just said, I land too hard on my cast rolls. I'm going to stop doing them because they're just too much of a dice roll. And then he decided to kind of start tinkering with them again, and for whatever reason, he said he started landing smooth on them, and now it's back into rotation as one of his go-to moves. So much so, he finished his run here with it.
So much love for the sport. It's so amazing to see. Brandon Simonek was actually on course with the boys. So this week, they've been able to all ride together, train together, and fire up for one of the biggest events of the year.
So judges taking their time with this score for good reason. The score to beat is an 84.4, and this run is something that deserves this time. Speaking of judging, Alan, you had mentioned that quarter pipe feature. Do you think that riders are just choosing not to touch that wall because it would be, you know, the tricks that you can do on the quarter pipe, it's tough to figure out something to do on the wall ride that might even hold a candle to just flying out of that quarter pipe with a big aerial move?
Yeah, I mean, and look at that, Lukas Huppert going into second place there. But going back to what you're saying, why we aren't seeing riders hit that wall ride, I think it's a speed thing. We're seeing riders come down really hard on that spine feature just before it and not able to generate quite enough speed to get all the way up on the wall and be able to do a trick that is going to generate enough points.
So Lukas Huppert goes into second place as we get a glimpse of our next rider to take this Red Bull Joyride course. Of course, we've had the dominance of Emil Johansson the past few years, but the last one to win here was Nicolai Rogatkin. He's got the eye of the tiger now.
Oh boy, does he have the eye of the tiger. Fast plant 360 straight into a cash roll.
Ooh, come on.
Flipping down into the step down. Nicolai having a couple of big crashes, but he is not going to hold back right here with a twister over the hip. Hold on, Nicolai. Getting that double tail whip on the second hip.
Oh, he's holding on to it. He is a showman, and he is throwing down.
Beautiful double backflip. Nice slow rotation. One up, one down. That's how he likes to do it. double bar spin backflip up. 360 down, that's huge drop.
Nicolai wants this.
Double bar spin backflip there. Gets a double tail whip on the quarter pipe. So as we're getting down this front order, bigger tricks on the quarter pipe. But here he comes into the cannon. What's he got?
He knows he needs a banger. What's he gonna choose? He goes for the Castro. Can he land it? Oh! Nicolai goes down.
A trick that he does so often. He's used his golden ticket to be here today, which is he's won here before.
Super uncharacteristic seeing Nicolai under rotate that cash roll and his tire just exploding. It's like his bars have moved up there on his bike. Luckily one of the riders that wears more padding than anybody else. Just like a rock skipping across the pond, seeing him come into that finish. Let's see what happens here, Cam.
Under rotated spin, causing him to land sideways, obviously blowing out the back tire.
And the front tire.
Right, double tire blowout. Definitely taking a lot of the brunt of that impact to the body. Luckily, Nicolai Rogatkin wears the most protection out of everybody. We've definitely seen that help him over the years. It's great to see him up carrying his bike down. He's got a little bit of mechanic work to do.
Luckily for these riders, they bring two identical bikes.
So Fedko, exciting rider left to drop. Fedko knows what's up when he rolls the whistle. He chooses a local as his guy. Let's see what he got up to with Finn Isles.
Both tires exploded.
All right, Erik, so what you're gonna wanna do here is come in with the most speed you possibly can, smack the lip, whoop-a, off the left side, and into the next feature. Let's do it. This is crazy. Yo! You go all the way under?
We see an Erik Fedko raring and ready to go at the top of this Red Bull Joyride course. A lot of riders have an issue in practice. One rider that I saw look like he was having fun in practice was Erik Fedko. Expect a big run out of this German here. Erik Fedko, a crowd favorite, getting them going before he drops in.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't talked about him enough as a contender that can win this event. So let's see what he's got right here. Opposite 360 off the flat drop into an opposite tail whip right there. Looking really good. Trunk driver to tail whip the regular way. So man, he is off to a really strong start. And there, that signature Indian Air seat grab. Did you see how nosedive? No! Going for that windshield wiper. Cam, did you see how high a nosedive he was on that Indian Air seat grab?
That might be the best one we've ever seen him do, and that's really saying something. That was a run that could win this competition.
And here, going for the windshield wiper, so he's doing a 360, a tail whip one way, and then a tail whip the other direction. And it just looks like he wasn't able to hold on. It was a super hard impact because he was so high in the air.
And he was really going for it, considering he's had 3 second places on the Crankworx World Tour Slopestyle Series. Oh, I was thinking today could be his day. He still has another opportunity. Hopefully he's feeling okay after that heavy slam. We have heavy riders coming up. Tim Bringer and David Godziek will be our final 2 riders to drop. And this is going to be a couple moments you're not going to want to miss. This rider in the gate right here has 4 second places. If anybody's poised for a win, it is him. And there is nobody who looked better in practice.
If all the stars align today, this is a moment. We've seen him do a never-been-done double backflip on the final cannon feature. We also saw an incredible front flip off one of the flat drops, so he's on.
It looked like in his statistics, he's got a number 10 on the YOLO. He's gonna send it right here, I can guarantee that.
Strongest rider in the field, able to just muscle around those tricks. He is on fire. Let's see if he can put it together. This could be the winning run. Let's see.
Starts it off with a front flip on the flat drop. Triple truck driver up.
Oh my!
Gets that cash roll down. Or cork 7, sorry. 360, double tail whip to bar spin. Perfect double backflip. Remember, that is a hip, so a double backflip is extra points on creativity. Backflip, double tail whip, nosing it in, looking unbelievably smooth. Opposite, 360 X up to bar spin. Oh, and he does a no-handed straight backflip off that drop. I think that was 3 bar spins.
This is an insane run. How will Tim Bringer finish this run, taking his moment
we talked
to gather
about
himself? Here we go.
We talked about how hard it is to get rotation tricks off
He's
this.
going for it, come on!
The double.
That was the slowest rotation double backflip I have ever seen.
Tim Bringer makes history, the first ever double backflip off of a cannon log in competition. Come on!
I have goosebumps. Physically and technically, these riders are so close, and mentally, he held it together and delivered when it mattered.
He absolutely did. We were talking about that cannon, how it's going to elevate these riders. You need that transition of a normal jump to get that rotation going for a double backflip. Cam, you're talking about how strong he is. He used all of that muscle.
He was so late on the snap on that front flip off the drop. His front tire left before he pushed with his legs. No way.
It almost ended before it started right there. 360 double tail whip right there, catching it early at the peak of his height and then throwing the bars.
He makes a bike look small, not a small guy at all. He managed to get his huge rotations, put the bike where he wants.
This is a silly run right here. Everything was executed with perfection, and there was a handful of moves that were groundbreaking.
And this is one of them right here. Look at this. Flat drop backflip. You have to pull so hard, and he manages to get the bars in and does a tuck no-hander. But right here, did you see how far back he was off the back of his bike?
I did.
I think only Tim Bringer, being as tall as he is, can get that far back.
There's a reason nobody has messed with that move. There's a reason. Nobody had even done it in a video part until he did it in practice. There we go, 94.4. Tim Bringer leading the charge here at Red Bull Joyride.
Talk about seizing the day, Tim Bringer. He's had so many second and third places. Is this going to be the opportunity where he potentially sees that #1 next to his name?
94.4. If the pressure of the Triple Crown wasn't enough, you got to drop in after this. Alan, you caught up with David earlier. Take a look, everyone.
Yeah. No speed limits here.
Me and my brother built our first jump. It was probably this high, and we were spending every free time on bikes. When we could learn one more trick every day, then it was a good day. Coming here in 2019, I was new in this sport. I had no expectations. In the past, every time I was coming to Whistler, it was right after X Games. I was kind of switching from BMX to mountain bikes. So this year is definitely a bit easier. I'm more into riding mountain bike, and now I can just focus on my riding.
David Godziek as he celebrates the biggest win of his career. It's exactly what David Godziek needed to do.
I want to get better and better to to show the best performance I can. So definitely being this close to winning this whole thing is the biggest motivation ever.
David Godziek had not had a win until this season. Once he won, he decided he would just win again. He likes what gold tastes like, and right now, huge opportunity. We just saw a 94.4 from Tim Bringer. David Godziek, can he stomp his run? Can he take the Triple Crown? He's got a smile on his face and he's dropping in.
Opposite tail whip dropping in. Front flip tuck no-hander. Into a triple truck driver. He's looking really calm. Look at that little skirt over the roller. Oh, and he pulls it so huge on the catchy tail whip. Triple tail whip on that one. And there it is, the twister, the no-handed twister.
I think he might have got something after the hands too.
Did he throw the bars in there, Cam?
He may have. We'll have to look at replay.
Flat drop flip bar spin, so difficult. Indian Air 360 on the spine.
Oh, the big question.
He is in the zone. What does he have coming down to the finish?
He knows he needs something big after that last run from Bringer. What does Godziek have? Oh, the catch roll bar spin, he goes down. Oh, he knew he had to go for it though.
The cash roll bar spin off the cannon gets him. Look at the frustration. That was the run he needed. I do believe that would have put him in first place. But going back to Innsbruck, we saw this similar situation. In Cannes when he won, he was able to win it from the first run. But we did see a crash in Innsbruck. He was able to collect himself, get his headspace back where he needed to be, and then still win.
He was a little off on the rotation right here. It almost seemed like he didn't go over the front enough. It was a little bit too upright for it to then fold back over on itself and come in smooth to the landing. So he was leaned and under-rotated as well.
Almost the same crash that Nicolai had on his cash roll.
David is known for those cash roll combinations. When it comes to these pressure cooker moments, you're up for an overall, you're up for a Triple Crown, you've got these opportunities. I can see that the pressure is building with these riders.
You are right though, Alan. The fact that last event, he crashed run number 1, got back up there and put it down for run number 2. He got out of that smoother than some of the crashes we've seen. He looks to be okay. It's so important to be just as good at crashing as you are at riding so you can make it to that second run if run number 1 does not go to plan. Holy moly, 94.4 is our score to beat. That's what the judges thought. What do you think? Make sure you cast your vote for Rider of the Day. It's fan voted, so you have the control and the power. It doesn't have to be the highest scoring run. It could just be your favorite run of the day. Voting is now open that all of our riders have taken one run. This area is so special. It means so much to us in this sport. But there's so much more to it than that. Have a look at why this area means so much.
Yeah, I'm interested to see that. Cashy.
Oh, we're so great. Well, we're so lucky to be able to visit so many beautiful areas in the world on this Crankworx World Tour. We try to take the opportunity to learn a little bit about the local cultures, the Maori culture down in New Zealand. Of course, we're grateful that we're able to compete here on the land of the Lil'wat Nation and the Squamish Nation. We love to learn about the cultures that were here before us and just express our gratitude that we're able to have our amazing competition today on this beautiful land.
Absolutely astounding level of slopestyle prowess from these riders.
Whoa.
I think as a broadcaster, we're kind of storytellers, and so to see these different cultures, the Maori, the Aboriginal, and then to hear, you just hear fascinating stories. So like to learn about it is awesome.
Chief Matthias Joe created this totem pole back in 1956 as a wedding gift from a wife to a husband.
That is some gift. I love the way that Crankworx respects the planet and that the culture of all these places we visit is absolutely crucial to this World Tour.
This is the road to Pemberton. Traveling on the World Tour for a couple years now, and it's been awesome to experience other cultures from around the world. And for example, Rotorua with Tohoto, and being here and learning more about the culture right out from my hometown.
It's cool, you can definitely see it, the way they live, how they're spiritually connected. It's all kind of similar to me. It's just cool to like connect that to ours, and I've enjoyed it.
That's why I like to share my culture, is to show how like we are in the world. No matter what part of the planet we're from, we come from the same roots.
And better and better every single year.
Run 2 still to come here at Red Bull Joyride. And I mean, we're in the middle of a Red Bull Joyride, and it always delivers. You never know what you can expect, except your mind will be blown. And second run is always capable of shaking things up. A bit of a look at our start list for run number 2 for the women, Caroline.
With a 2-run format, it gives the ladies an opportunity. We go into a re-rack, so that's why we're seeing Harriet Burbidge-Smith drop in first. What it does is it puts Alma, who's currently in the hot seat, it gives her the opportunity to say, do I need to step up and send, or can I sit back and potentially have that victory run?
Well, interested to see if we will get a vision of Harriet Burbidge-Smith up in the gate. We did see her have a big crash in run number 1, landing a bit sideways on the backflip on the second hip, second straightaway of the course. A trick we'd seen her do countless times in practice. We know she's got what it takes, and that is a rider who could definitely post a run that could threaten that top score from Alma Wiggberg. So that's one unknown right now. Will we see Harriet Burbidge-Smith drop in and have an opportunity to beat that 89.4 from Alma?
Yeah, remember, we missed Harriet due to a little bit of a concussion protocol and head injury there in Innsbruck, so I'm wondering if maybe she's playing it safe. That was a pretty hard slam in that first run.
So Shealan Reno just 0.6 behind Natasha Miller. I would say Shealan is going to be gunning for Natasha right there, trying to take over that second spot, knowing how close she is. Shealan has what it takes. Will she be able to put some pressure on Natasha Miller? Because I know Natasha can improve that run. We saw her chuck that double bar spin in New Zealand on the final feature, and she looks so cool, casual, and composed in run number 1. It's going to be interesting to see if we can have any shakeups to our leaderboard in run number 2 for the women's field. But now,
this course for the ladies has actually been one of the most challenging to learn.
Yeah, and somebody who's definitely got a challenge ahead of him is David Godziek. He wants to win the Triple Crown. We saw this man right here on the right side of your screen do it in 2018. We thought it was impossible after Brett Reeder succumbed to the pressure before, and then Nicolai Rogatkin said, you know what? I'll eat pressure for breakfast. This is my fuel. And he seized the moment, capping off that run with a double tailp off the flat drop. A trick that would still carry weight here in 2024. And he was the first rider to hoist that Triple Crown trophy over his head. Of course, Emil Johansson has now done it 3 times. And the possibility is still alive for David Godziek to do it today with 1 run left. Can't wait to see how that shakes down. Women run number 2 coming up here at Red Bull Joyride. We've got the riders at the top of the course. As you mentioned, Caroline, reverse start order, meaning our lowest scores dropping first, and our hot seat rider gets to hang out and watch the action and make a plan. There we go. This is great. We do have Harriet Burbidge-Smith in the gate. We were wondering if she would ride. You can see her testing out her right hand right here. Sounds like it's quite a bit sore after that backflip crash on the second hip. But you know what? She's tough, and she's dropping in.
Harriet dropping in gear, that first T-bog down off the drop, extended tuck no hander into the whale tail, losing a little bit of speed, but she managed to regain herself, cool off her composure.
You can see the pain she's in. When she lands there, her right arm's definitely not sturdy.
Yeah, it looks like she's just going to get herself to the bottom of the hill right here. Totally respectable move. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not.
Oh, unfortunate for Has going down again on the over-rotation. One thing that is unique about this course, it has such an elevation difference. So from the top to the bottom, you're falling more than these girls. She's been doing speed and style flips for years now, but you take it to a slope style course and you have to now adjust to the speed and the elevation. So unfortunate for Has over-rotating.
What do you think? The pressure of, this being the biggest crowd in the sport, just a little bit of being overzealous off the lip and just yanking a little bit too hard?
Maybe a little bit of that, pressure and nerves. As I said, she's so dialed. She has just unlocked a whole new feature with the backflip tuck no hander this year that we saw in Cairns.
She did not get out of that one smooth.
No, it just looked like she went long again, and that's kind of what you were talking about how managing the speed has been really tough on this course with that steeper angle of the boneyard. We talked about it in speed and style. We talked about it in slalom. The boneyard is no joke.
No, Has, she trains with Robin Gooms, who also crashed out before this event, and Has is actually a trail builder herself, so she was really excited to ride this course. It is complete artwork, and as a trail builder herself, she knows what it takes to build a course like the Red Bull Joyride course.
Tough day for Australia's Harriet Burbidge-Smith. 2 runs, 2 crashes, same trick. She'll go back to the drawing board and prepare for the next event. Hopefully she's not too sore after those. Had to have been crazy dropping in. You could see her right hand was sore, and the very first trick out of the gate was a toboggan using her right hand. You could see when she was landing, it didn't look like that right hand was able to handle that impact. But we're moving things right along right now. Next rider in the gate from France, Lisa Marie Blanc. She took a 5th at the last stop in Innsbruck.
She had a huge crash in practice, and Nicolai actually turned to bring her and said, "She's a warrior, yeah? We're all good?" And she stepped back up to the plate. She's definitely a warrior.
Here we go. What does she have for us here in run number 2?
Looking good right there, keeping it smooth, gets the toboggan in. Might be wondering where Kathi Kuypers is. We heard she's just gonna take that first run.
Oh.
So we moved right on to Lisa here. Getting an X up, so she's working her way. She's warming up as she's getting down this track. Let's see what she's got here. Big jump. Oh, and here she goes. Nice backflip. Looking really smooth right there.
Executing that backflip. Lisa Marie is one that I'm really excited to see her future. She was only an alternate the first 2 stops, and she didn't get to compete, so she's only actually been on a... and she went for it. That 360.
Oh yeah, count it indeed. So she's got flip rotations, 360 rotations, and the opportunity to maybe move up the rankings. What she got on the cannon.
Can she cap this run off? Here we go. One-hander over the... Yeah!
Oh, and she held it.
Hold on to that.
A bit sketchy there on the final feature, but she puts it through to the finish corral. The iconic Red Bull Joyride finish corral, celebrating with fellow Frenchie right there, Tim Bringer, the man who was sitting in the hot seat for the men. I love to see her push her limits right here and go for the rotations in this run. We've seen that's what it takes to threaten that top score from Alma Wiggberg, that 89.4.
She's starting to unlock some new moves like this 360 we've just seen. Not quite the speed.
Come on, this has really got potential to crack in. Oh, she was so sideways.
The one place the 24-inch wheels might not be a good thing to have is this bomb down into the village.
She's definitely one of the most resilient riders. She can be in tears on the side, and she goes back up and she sends. She just gets back out there, so such a brave competitor. She's been holding it down for the ladies. When the alternate spots opened up, she said, "Put me in."
What will the score be here for Lisa Marie Blanc? Judges taking their time with this one. Can she take over that spot from Shealan Reno. Shealan not rotating. We see 2 rotations here from Lisa Marie, but Shealan also adding so many combos. There we go. The score in run 2. She increases her score, but does not move into podium contention. Still sitting in 4th place there for Lisa Marie. She's got to feel good about that performance.
She has to be happy about that one. Her best performance so far is a 5th place, so a 4th is really securing her for the next year's World Tour.
So Shealan's sitting in a comfortable position right now, sitting in podium contention. And you know she wants to push her limits in front of this big Joyride crowd. X up out of the start drop. Oh, missed getting the handoff there like she had in run number 1.
In that 1 foot X up down, Shealan wants to land a no-foot can one-hander. We'll see if she can do it in this run.
Nice little tire grab getting through the hip section right there. Tuck no-hander to X up, so now getting the combos out. Coming in right here, and there's the pendulum. No foot can one way, no foot can the other way.
Her favorite tricks are on those hips. She has those steezy maneuvers, a dialed bar spin up on the surgeon's table, a T-bog down.
This will be the jump for it if she needs to go for it. Now she goes for the knack-knack. Ooh, squirrely.
Get that foot back on, get composed, because you're going to get shot out of this cannon right here, Shealan. What do you got? Oh, she goes big and holds on to it. The deepest we've seen anybody go. That was street right there.
She managed to ride that bull. I mean, she's a Texas girl, and she held on to that one.
Oh, the 8-second rollout right there. I can't believe she stayed on the bike.
She's hyped to be here. Definitely a showman.
I'm so glad she was able to control that overshoot. That was heavy impact.
I'm really excited to see her 2025 performance. She's been dialing in the backflips online, so be sure to see those maneuvers like a backflip, 360, and the rotations starting to come out in 2025.
For sure. The tricks that are on the internet today will be on the course in the 2025 season. And Shealan Reno, final run of this year's tour for her in Crankworx, and she's got to be happy with her performance as a new mountain biker, you know, just cementing herself as one of the best slopestyle riders there is. Oh, we're gonna get slow-mo. Look at this overshoot. Watch her head. Oh, and then she gets a little tank slap right there. Oh.
Man, so lucky to hold on to that. That is the last place you want to crash.
We're coming into that 3rd position with a 5 at the first round, a 5 at the second round. She got on her first podium with a 3rd, and now she's currently sitting in the 3rd position.
All right. Natasha, she's cozy in that 2nd place spot, but it's not time to celebrate yet. She was so composed and casual in run number 1. Will she push herself and try to take over that lead? The youngster, she's only 17 years of age, missed the last 2 stops because she had something to do. It's called school.
For her age, she has so much bike control. Coming from that BMX racing background, she's found her feet in slopestyle, so she's not worried about the course. We've seen her have those double bar spins. See if she can execute today.
Natasha Miller on course.
Natasha riding to some Johnny Cash out here, getting a toboggan. Hold on. She's looking really good in that 2nd position. She's got to be stoked.
Taking that tire grab on the first hip. Huge extension on that tuck no-hander.
Nice.
Single bar spin. Natasha has to be happy. We mentioned her going to school, which is actually studying to be a nurse.
Well, that might come in handy if she keeps doing this slopestyle game. Nice tuck no-hander. Getting tricks off nearly every jump right there. That is going to be so important and so good for her building for the future.
Coming into her final feature, she is a hometown girl. Doing it for Canada, the roar of excitement, bringing her home to the finish.
Natasha Miller securing herself a silver medal. What a crazy experience. How many 17-year-olds leave school for the summer and then compete in front of thousands and thousands of people? She'll be on the podium later. and the future is bright. I can't wait to see her back for the 2025 season.
Yeah, school can wait. It's time to get sick on bikes.
Right, and all these girls have an opportunity. They're heading to the next event next week, so this one's going to wrap up, but they're heading into another event, going to be a gold stock of the World Tour.
Just flowing down this track, looking so smooth. Little nose bonk in there, enjoying the moment.
And look how smooth she lands this. You know, that feature is super daunting to ride, but you're looking at the future of the sport right here. 17 years old, already in second place. And she's definitely going to take that consistency and that casual approach and just continue to add tricks to it and really be a force to reckon with in the future. Well, that means one thing right there. Alma Wiggberg gets a victory lap, her second gold medal of this inaugural season for women in slopestyle on the Crankworx World Tour. And she's gonna soak it up, do this one for the crowd and for you at home.
I can imagine that she's going to take a victory run right now. She doesn't need to execute anything. She's had so many groundbreaking moments, being the first girl to do a 360 in speed style competition. She's unlocked so many levels this year, and you can see the smile and emotion just setting in on her face.
This is the best moment in my mind as a professional athlete in action sports. You know, they show the podium, they show the champagne spray, but this moment right here, when you get to do a full run in front of the crowd as the winner, there's no pressure, you just get to be you out there. This is a cool moment for Alma Wiggberg.
And as you can see, she didn't do that bar spin in or the suicide no-hander out. So she is taking a victory run. Talking through some of the highlight moments of this year. She did go for a backflip. We saw her go head-to-head with Robin all year. It was such an amazing battle between the two of them. She did that flip can out. I mean, we thought she was going to do a celebration run, but she's already getting backflip variations.
She's like, I got these tricks.
Yeah, she's doing only what she wants right now. This is her course. I love it.
Keep an eye on her social media because she is unlocking in the Mills training facility. They go home to Sweden and go to work.
Well, there will only ever be one first ever winner of Red Bull Joyride for the women. Her name is Alma Wiggberg, and she did it right here in front of you in 2024, making history here. Alma Wiggberg. Missing the first stop of the season. We thought we knew who our front runners were going to be for the tour, and she showed up second stop and said, hey, oh yeah, me. I want to win. I got backflip variations, I got 360s, and I'm going to do them in front of you while under pressure.
It wasn't an easy road for Alma either. About 3 years ago, at the Pump Track World Championships, having a crash, injuring her shoulder, having surgery, the surgery not taking, needing to have surgery again, really disrupting her development, but she did never back down. She never backed down. And here, at the absolute top of her sport.
And winning here at Red Bull Joyride, that is giving her a ticket to the World Tour for the rest of the season and for life, right?
Historic moment. Bree is with her. Let's talk to Alma, Bree.
I'm here with the first ever female winner of Red Bull Joyride. Alma, you've just made history. What does this moment mean to you?
It means so much. I was really nervous in the beginning of the week, and just making my run, I'm super happy.
You've had such a journey with shoulder injuries. How hard was it just to get back this season?
It's been rough. I had a good off season, just doing a lot of rehab and been feeling really good this season.
And you've got so many fans. You've got little girls behind you dreaming of being the next Alma. What's your advice for little kids watching right now?
Just keep pushing. It will come.
Congratulations. Enjoy the celebration.
Thank you.
That may be the loudest cheers we've heard all day. Nothing can quite reach the decibel levels of young girls. I had to turn down my headphones. I was like, wow.
That gave me chills.
High frequency. I know, I got those too. I was like, oh gosh, those girls are fierce. And at least a few of them want to be on the other side of that fence at some point. We can't wait to see it. There's a look at our final results for the women at Red Bull Joyride. Shealan Reno picks up another bronze. Natasha Miller, a silver, cracking onto the podium for the first time in this just now budding career. Future is bright for her. And then Alma Wiggberg, not only grabbing her second gold of the season, it's her third podium and the first ever Red Bull Joyride gold medal for the women. Yep, you can never take that away from her. Good stuff, good stuff. And guess what? Guess what, guys? Guess what? We got more.
We got more.
Yeah, can you believe it? We got run number 2 for the men still to come.
Oh, I'm excited for 2025. The feedback from the ladies has been that this year has been Type 2 fun. Haven't quite enjoyed the pressure in the moment, but you just enjoy it completely afterwards. So excited to see next year moving into more of that Type 1 fun. You enjoy it in the moment, you enjoy it afterwards.
Get those votes in. We are going to award the Rider of the Day for the women, Rider of the Day for the men. Last year, Ben Thompson took the honors. We'd love to see who you're feeling this year. You got the power. Cast your vote, and we'll release those results on the podium at the conclusion of run number 2 for the men. But we are so far from over right here. I cannot wait to see who can rise to the occasion right here. Sometimes magic is made in run number 2. The score to beat now belongs to Tim Bringer from France, a 94.4. We saw David Godziek go down. You know what that means is we're gonna see him drop early. Of course, we run number 2 in reverse start order, so the lowest score dropping first, and the score to beat the hot seat will drop last. That will be Tim Bringer.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, Cam. We're going to re-rack based on those first runs, so we will see David Godziek early. If he can pull a run off that does beat that 94 of Tim Bringer, Bringer will have an option to then, one-up him again. So, lots of competition to happen here today.
And Godziek can do it. We know he can do it. We're still wondering if he got that twister no-hander to Barsman. I saw something happen after those hands got back on the bars, and I know that's a trick he's been working on. We would love to see him put it through the finish line. A lot of riders having issues in run number 1. Nicolai Rogatkin, will we see him back up in the start list?
Yeah, David Godziek crashing out, but still in 6th place right now. So we're not going to see him as early as we thought. That just tells you what he was doing up above.
I mean, our top 5 riders landed their runs. And I think it's the rest of them with a lot left on the table. Who would have thought that Lukas Skiold's run, where he had those 3 issues, he'd be sitting in 5th place right now. One of those riders with issues early on in run number 1 was this man in the gate right now. Tom Isted on screen alongside Alex Alanko. Let's see who's taking to this course first. Both of them crashed on the first straightaway.
The Slopestyle World Tour has chiropractor and massage. So these riders throughout the week, they're looking after their bodies. And when they're going up to reset, checking on their bikes, they're also getting their bodies worked on to prepare for the second round.
So Alex Alanko returning to tour a month ago in Austria, 12th there. Definitely not representing what he's capable of. He took a bronze in New Zealand in 2019. Let's see if he can put it all the way down to the finish line here. Alex Alanko on course.
Gets that 360 right into that oppo tail, into the regular double tail. So now he's looking good right here. See what he brings into these hips. Nice corks, over-rotated cork 7. Gets that opposite alley-oop 270. Looks like he was maybe going for some bars, but keeping his momentum going. 1, 2, double bar spin backflip.
Looks like he was maybe looking for one more
around
there,
to the step up.
Again, kept the bar.
Tail up to bar spin up. That was really, really tricky there. Truck driver off. Bar spin flip on the spine. Keeps some speed. Gets a tail up on the quarter pipe. Now he's going to really have to focus and get something big off of this cannon.
Come on, Alex. Can he get a clean run there? Opposite 360 on the cannon. Clean to the landing.
So technical to do those opposite rotations. Do anything that you do in daily life, but do it with your opposite hand or your opposite foot, and you'll understand what that might be like.
And that's got to feel good for him. Coming off a rough week, he was sick. He posted on his social media that he had to source a bike. I mean, the odds were against him. In those moments, you've got to trust you're in a performer that you know what to do.
Yeah, he's got the confidence to be able to bounce back from the mistakes in run number one. Let's savor some of these great moments. I really like how clean this double tail up was on the dirt-to-dirt step down. I'm also really impressed that he was able to squeeze in. Oh, look at that cork step. He was able to squeeze in that whip to bar into the on-off.
Look how corked out his body is. His head is almost 270 above his entire body, which is the head of his bike, and then at the last second pulls it all the way in.
You know, he spends a ton of time practicing in indoor facilities during the winter. Those features are small, so he's able to have really quick execution of the tricks, but also just be so dialed, getting so many repetitions in. But these Swedish riders have the ability to scale their tricks from the ramps indoors to the huge jumps outdoors in the summertime all over the world on this world tour. Super impressive. What's the score going to be for Alex Alanko?
He's definitely going to be improving on that first run score, making it all the way to the bottom this time.
He's not going to threaten that 94.4 from Tim Bringer, but will it move him up into podium contention? And even outside of that, the points you can earn from a good result here are so valuable to secure yourself a spot on the World Tour. We didn't see him all last season. He got the points racked up from the lower tier events. He found himself back on the Crankworx FMBA Slopestyle World Championship Series this year. He really needs a good score from this run too. There we go, it's a 65.2, putting him into fifth. That's exactly what Alex Alanko needed right now.
And he has recovered using those 10+ years of experience to get him to this moment and deliver on his second run.
Yeah, it's so hard as an athlete to have that challenge in your first run, not making it down, and then having to sit and watch all your competitors do their runs, and you just kind of get cold, and mentally it can get to you, but he was able to recover and one-up himself. Awesome to see.
Tom Isted has 2 bronze medals from last season. He is yet to stomp a run here in 2024, but we know when he does stomp a run, statistically, he gets onto the podium. What does he have for us here?
Straight flip off the drop. 360 right there. Going a little long, tuck no-handed backflip.
Switching it up.
So Tom Isted really focused on this top to bottom, but he has huge tricks.
Oh, no.
Tom!
Whoa.
That was uncharacteristic from him. Normally he has those spin tricks, and we saw him going for something unique.
The mustard really falling off the hot dog there. We've seen him take a lot of bails this season, but it's usually on casseroles, cork sevens, twisters. I can't wait to look at a replay from that. It looks like he just separated from the bike, abandoned ship right after the rotation. But here's a look back at a full replay here from our current run to beat. He went a full 10 points ahead of the next highest score here, and for good reason.
Yeah, Tim Bringer, our first top to bottom with 0 mistakes, looking absolutely flawless, and right there, stepping up the game with a double backflip off the cannon log. It's just unbelievable how slow and composed he was while rotating around.
I have to mention that if anybody has seen the double backflip off the cannon that he did in practice, he got better snap on the one in practice than he did there. He almost had a dead pull, and I was so worried in real time that he wasn't going to sneak it around. Front tire did touch down first.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. When I first saw him coming off, my heart stopped, and I almost gave up on it, but he muscled that thing around.
I think I actually said, uh-oh. I can't believe Tom Isted is doing all right here. That was a crazy crash, but he is like a cat.
Yeah, nice to start next year with, your last time on one of these slope style courses not being a crash. Oh, come on, Tom. Jeez, that was slow.
I love those flat drop under flips, corking them out like nobody else.
Tom was actually, for me, when I did my world first front flip at the Audi 9s, he demonstrated it for me multiple times. So big respect to Tom Isted. He always supports all the ladies out there for sure.
A gentleman. Well, we'll look forward to 2025 season for Tom Isted. Unfortunately, not able to grab a podium like he did last season. He was going for a backflip tail up. The bike did not rotate, and he had to abandon ship. Look at that. He didn't hold his arms sturdy enough, and the tail up coming around actually made his arms move instead of the arms being the anchor point for that tail up to rotate around. I'm just impressed he was able to avoid going upside down.
Yeah, that was a scary moment. And when you jump off early like that, you go long, and that is a big impact. Man, what a tough human being right there. I would have shattered into about 100 pieces.
Absolutely, I don't know how he does it. Max Langille will be our next rider. Max Langille, the local here, originally from Calgary, but currently living in Squamish. Great place to live, right down the road here in the Sea to Sky corridor. Access to all the riding this area has on tap.
Max had an absolutely explosive start to his run, having a little bit of trouble midway down. Let's see if he can pull it all together right here.
Max Langille, a crash in practice at the last stop in Austria, a crash in number 1 run here, but moments of brilliance in run number 1. Let's see if he can get this trick off of the dirt-to-dirt step down here coming up in the first straightaway.
Opposite 360 into regular 360 tuck no-hander.
Doesn't go for it.
Into a backflip. Man, he's just holding on through there. He's got good speed coming into the tip. Oh, really short.
That's where we saw him with a mistake in run number 1. Same story here in run number 2, just not able to get the speed for that cash roll. Did he go for a cash roll bar spin as well?
Yeah, I think I did see the bars going. Even though he crashed in that first run, he was going for broke right there. He was going to leave it all out there on the table. Caroline, you were saying earlier that it was a bit hard getting speed for those jumps right there. What was kind of the denominator in there? What's making it tough?
The riders were saying that coming in off this first corner, they're coming in with so much speed, and the lip was actually so steep. So unlike the last round at Innsbruck, where the hips were more straight line, this one is actually at a hip with that trajectory. So yeah, just finding it hard to bring that rotation around and get that distance.
It's also the trick he's doing and the way he's doing it. That cash roll is a variation on a front flip. It's a front flip with a 360 rotation, and he is extending his legs off the lip and snapping so hard, it's putting his trajectory straight up and not as far out as he needed. So unfortunately, Max Langille not getting a top to bottom run here this year. Griffin Paulson does not want to leave anything out on the table. Issues in run number 1, similar to last year. And he needs a big score right here. He's very capable of putting it down. We've been seeing him front flipping flat drops a ton this season. We didn't see him with a full run in run number 1. And I'm hoping we get a top to bottom.
It's always hard for the boys seeing the other competitors go down. There's so much camaraderie between them all. So hard to watch your friend go down and then to be sitting on that start line. These are the moments where you have all the demons inside your head. You've got to focus. You've got to put that fear behind you from the first run and focus on executing the process to get a result.
He was so close to saving that issue in run number 1. So we know he has it. He's got to line it up here.
360 in, bar spin flip, bar spin front flip down. So really nice combination there, showing his capabilities. 360 double tail whip, awesome on that one, super high in the air, backflip tail whip.
That's where it went wrong in run number 1, but he puts it clean there, the backflip tail whip.
The amplitude out of Griffin right now, really good. Oh, and he pulls back for the double backflip tuck no-hander and gets it. 360 bar spin up.
Yeah!
Gets the front flip in. Okay, Griffin, this is a sick run. Keep it together. Big stalled out flip on the spine.
Missing the variation though, but he's got to forget about that here because he's got one more feature to put an exclamation point on this run. Griffin Paulson coming into the cannon log. What does he have for us? A front flip, bar spin, and he scores it!
Griffin Paulson storms into the village with an awesome run from top to bottom. He's been looking for that run all season long.
Listen to the crowd.
Oh, he's ecstatic. That was the moment of redemption from his first run, laying it all on the line. In those moments, you have to play to win, and he played big.
So cool to hear these crowd rewarding these riders down here in the village.
Oh, we could be seeing a medal-winning run, and that just gives us all chills. We all have to take our mics off just to hear the crowd and soak in this moment.
They're still going out there.
So much little technicality in this run. That back flip bar spin to front flip bar spin, back to back on those smaller jumps. So difficult, and the height on these jumps, that's what got me going. 360 double tail it, but huge.
Griffin Paulson needed a big moment like this. This is years in the making right here. His best result, a 6th on the World Tour. We've seen all these tricks. We just needed to see them in the context of a smooth top to bottom run. And you know what? Sometimes you see a rider go for run number 2 and they go, all right, I need to play it safe because I missed run number 1, but that double backflip no-hander and this front flip drop told me that he's absolutely pulling all the stops and going for it. And it doesn't really matter unless you really finish with a banger, and he did exactly that, didn't he?
Yeah, it's Joyride, baby. We're not playing it safe right here. Griffin Paulson absolutely sending it and making it happen. I love to see it.
Oh, he definitely took that mistake, not as failure. He learned from it and had that redemption.
Making Prince George, BC proud. What will the score be for Griffin Paulson?
Paulson has done his part on this Red Bull Joyride course, and he is ecstatic.
Looking at the judges here. The judges actually have the opportunity to look at replays just to make sure everything is tidy. So maybe taking a little bit of time, making sure they're getting everything in.
Upsetting the order a little bit here in the second round.
Some of the mindset behind what these athletes go through when you are recovering from a crash in your first round and you're stepping back up. It's that moment where in the event you have a crash, you've got to have that response with a big run to get an outcome like today.
Well, Griffin Paulson, you've done your job. The judges are doing theirs. Can he slide into something higher than 6th place, which is his best result on the SWC so far? It's got to feel great.
He's like, give me the score, come on.
He's been waiting for a big Red Bull Joyride moment his whole life. He almost had one a couple seasons ago, but an injury right before the competition. He wasn't able to compete. Last year, crashed out in run number 1, and then they ended up not taking run number 2. I think we're getting close to seeing the score here for Griffin Paulson.
We just heard him say, let's go, baby. He's hyped.
I feel like that would be appropriate on the back of his jersey. Let's go, baby. He's like the purveyor of let's go.
See Tim
there we go.
out there staying warm.
He's been so chill all day. I feel like Tim Bringer's been looking around going like, is this really happening? Am I riding this well? And are my competitors having this many issues?
Are the stars aligning?
Here we go. What is run number 2 score going to be? 81.8, Griffin Paulson into 3rd place. Podium contention here for the BC boy.
Griffin would love to finish out the day in that position, but we have a slew of really, really strong riders looking to up their first run.
And the next rider, I'm getting word right now, is going to be Erik Fedko. Wow, so great to see him able to take run number 2. Run number 1 crash was not a mellow crash.
No, absolutely not. We saw it originally from the front, but that replay when we saw how he impacted, big hit on the side of the body, he's definitely going to be sore.
If it's at all possible for him to get back up to the top of the course, you know he will do it. We've seen that in the past, and we see it again right now.
Opposite 360 in, Opposite tail whip there.
Nice.
360 double bar spin.
Oh,
nice little skirt. There's that. Look how nosedive he comes in on that. Gets a little extra pedaling, so he has extra speed.
Come on, yes!
Yes, he gets the windshield wiper. That first tail whip was so slow. Double backflip right there. Okay, Fedko is on right now. What is he gonna do? Front flip up. We don't see Fedko doing fronties too often. 360 down.
Little recovery of that slip on there. He managed to regain himself.
Flip, double bar spin. He's looking really, really clean. Flares the quarter pipe, maximum points.
It all comes down to this. One more feature for Erik Fedko. Can he do it? Into the cannon. 360 tail up, styling it out, smooth to the landing.
Absolutely stomps it. Looks like maybe he wanted more, but man, that was an amazing run out of Erik Fedko.
Oh, he's excited, bringing that iconic FMX motocross steez to his run.
A standing ovation here for Erik Fedko, not only stomping a huge run in run number 2 here, but bouncing back from a heavy slam in run number 1.
Caroline, you're talking about how steep the lip is on that hip. Fedko using that to his advantage, and on that 360 Superman C-Grab Indian Air, he yanks back so hard. He's so steep. I think he's crashing when he's doing it, but look, here it comes, this next move right here. So insane. He's practically upside down. Yeah, it's amazing.
There's currently a chant with the kids in the background saying, Erik Fedko.
And right there, I think it's over, and he's just on for the ride, enjoying it.
Look at this. This is where it fell apart in run number 1, and he cleans this 360 windshield wiper. A 360 with 2 tail ups, both going in opposite directions, and then perfect double backflip. This is the point Alan Reese said, okay, Erik Fedko is on, and then I thought he was gonna throw it away. Front flipping up into the on-off, but he pulls it and then finishes strong with this 360 tail up off the cannon. You can see him catch early, style it out. Looked like he wanted to crack into a table, but he demonstrated a lot of composure and control by getting the feet onto the pedals so early there.
Yeah, looking at that trick list that was just up there, it's like, is that even possible on one run? Fedko just absolutely dominating this track.
He's going to have a new title, King of the Kids, after this round with the huge fan favorite, one of the signs, Erik Fedko, Steez King.
You see a lot of kids out there, and you can tell by what they're wearing that they're influenced by Erik Fedko. He's got his own clothing brand. It's called Type Clothing. He's wearing it out there on course. You see the kids in the Whistler Village wearing it as well. Definitely an influential rider, setting the path for what's to come here in this sport.
His face lights up the town with those Red Bull images. You can't get away from Erik Fedko when you're in Whistler at Crankworx time.
All right, a little side-by-side comparison here. The run from Fedko versus your current leading run, the 94.4 from Tim Bringer. I mean, both of them packed a lot in, but I gotta say, Bringer had bigger bangers.
Yeah, when they gotta use smaller font on some of the moves, some of the obstacles that he's gone on, opposite 360 double bar spin on, backflip, tuck no-hander off. That is just insane that is one obstacle.
That's second run font, and he did it in run number 1. He's sitting cozy up there at the top of the course, says, all right, guys, that's what I got. Show me if you can knock me out of that hot seat. He's so chill right now. A couple nights ago, we saw him on stage with Thomas Lemoyne rapping. He's been enjoying his week here in beautiful Whistler, British Columbia.
There's those couple of riders still on screen, like Nicolai Rogatkin, yet to drop in.
The Erik Fedko chant is getting louder as the judges take their time with this score. How cool is that?
King of the Kids.
That is cool. What a moment here at Joyride.
So, before Fedko's run, we saw Griffin Paulson slot into 3rd place. Erik Fedko without a score from run number 1. Where is he going to end up? Fredriksson still in 2nd place. Now the score, run 2 for Fedko in 84. He knocks Paulson down into 4th. Erik Fedko in bronze medal territory.
Fedko absolutely stoked with that score. He knew he had more, but man, after coming into that second run, the adversity of that crash on run number 1, he is absolutely stoked. Yeah, let's go, baby.
Let's go, Fedko.
Last year's Rider of the Day, the local boy from Squamish, BC, just down the road. Youngster, man, just 21 years of age, dropping in for his second Red Bull Joyride appearance. Expect the crowd to get loud here for Ben Thompson.
Ben Thompson with a 360 in, getting things started. There's a nice tail whip there. Double truck driver out. Cases slips a pedal, but he's going to recover. Now he's going to have to pedal, keep that speed going. Double tail whip there on the first hip. 360 bar spin to 1-footer. Looks like he's just kind of on a cruise mode right here. That slam he took in the first run was absolutely brutal. Backflip bar, 2-bar. Bar spin up. Front flips down. Amazing. Able to do that. Flips. Flip bar spin on the spine, alley-ooping the quarter pipe. We saw him get all the way to this point in run 1 and have some trouble. That huge slam.
I'm sure it's been replaying in his mind. Here we go, an opportunity to make good on that mistake, and he does it! He was short on that move in run number 1. He goes a little bit faster, times the rotation absolutely perfectly, touches down front tire, just a millisecond ahead of the back tire, and such a smooth landing there. Ben Thompson, great to see him get a smooth run in his second Red Bull Joyride appearance.
Yeah, looking at Ben's body language, I think, you know, it's kind of a story of what could have been. You know, he was on point from top to bottom and had that crash on that last run. We see him limping right there, so we know he was in some pain. And then able on his second run to do that trick that took him out. Definitely got to wonder what it could have been if he could have put it all together.
He's got to be sore from that slam in run number 1. And you saw him slip pedals in the first straightaway there, but he was able to bounce back. Everything else was super clean from that point on.
Bar to bar backflip.
A lot of Ben Thompson fans out there. We're gonna get him live on the mic to the venue, Bree.
I am here with our local hero, Ben Thompson from Squamish. Ben, I saw you limping. How are you going?
The first run for me was rough. Obviously, I wanted to put it down again for the crowd. And we made it work in the second run. Obviously, nowhere near what I wanted. I wasn't even gonna drop, but I looked over the side and saw all you guys going crazy. And I'm like, whatever, if I do some chill tricks and make it to the finish, I'm happy. So once again, I love you guys. We're in the finish corral again. So I'm stoked.
You were just a young kid in the crowd watching Red Bull Joyride. What is it like to be here, your second year?
Once again, honestly, no words. I see so many kids getting stoked, and I was that kid for so many years, year after year. And like I said, to all the kids, if you want it bad enough, you will be here one day, and I mean that. So, yeah, I appreciate all you guys coming out, friends, family, everyone. It's been a fun experience, and hopefully we'll be here. Thank you.
If those were chill tricks, what does the future hold for Ben Thompson, the 21-year-old? Love watching him drop in for slopestyle runs, and what a good personality for the sport as well. Oh my goodness, we are not going to see Paul Couderc, we are not going to see Nicolai Rogatkin. They're not taking their second runs, so this is the moment we get to see David Godziek, the only rider in the field who is eligible for the Triple Crown and the one most eligible to knock Tim Bringer out of that #1 spot here today. The score to beat, a 94.4, and this would be the man to beat it. David Godziek, undefeated in this 2024 season. A win in Australia, a win in Austria that he had to earn in the second run. Can he do it again here today?
Starts off with an opposite tail whip, front flip tuck no-hander, right into that triple truck driver, double truck driver, so looking really good so far.
Oh!
Cash roll tail to bar spin, triple tail whip. So he's looking good so far. Twister no-hander. He is capitalizing on every obstacle on the way up. Double truck, suicide, backflip, bar spin off the flat drop. This is insane.
He is firing, Alan.
Indian air, seat grab, 360 into a flare on the quarter pipe. Okay, this is where he had trouble.
So many things on the line for him today.
Here we go. David Godziek into the cannon. Cash roll bar spin, and he lands it. Oh, man.
He does it. He regroups. He's able to come back in his second run and stick it.
No way!
The Red Bull celebration from the boys coming in to give him a hug in this iconic moment.
The 94.4 of Bringer is in threat.
So much pressure coming at him from all angles imaginable. The Triple Crown. The fact that it's Red Bull Joyride. The fact that he threw it away in run number 1. Let's take a look back. That was a triple. You got it, Alan.
Sometimes I get it.
Look at this. Cash roll, tail whip, catching pedals, throwing the bars. That is what he needed to do here in run number 2.
So much fight in the middle of that rotation to bring it around. So much aggression in Godziek's riding today. There with the twister, that's a 1080 rotation corked out with his hands off. I can't even believe I'm saying that.
Look at the dice roll coming up into the on-off box here. The Sui 360 double bar spin, letting those bars fly and then snapping so much power. Flat drop flip bar spin.
Oh, there's so much on the line here for today. Not only the win, the potential Triple Crown. I spoke to Rita about what it takes, and he said you have to be dedicated 110% to the sport. It doesn't always align with the stars. What can we see today?
Well, the judges are thinking about all the categories on their scorecard. He had them all. Execution, we just saw a clean landing on that final feature. We had amplitude, we had degree of difficulty with the tricks, and that's what we're going to analyze right now as we see these tricks written out side by side. Godziek's run compared to the 94.4 of Tim Bringer.
Yeah, you see right there where there was a triple bar spin out of Godziek. There was only a double out of Bringer. There was a couple of things where there was a little one up there, so we'll see how it all pans out here. So much to take into account with the judges.
That last feature, both of the riders, huge variations, a double backflip for Tim Bringer, and that's iconic because we haven't seen it. And then not just a cash roll, but a cash roll bar spin. Here we go, what it is. Run number 2 score coming in. A 96.6, no way! Godziek goes into the lead, putting all the pressure on Tim Bringer, the last rider to drop.
So now the pressure shifts back to the top of the hill. Tim Bringer warming up on that spin bike. He was just in first place, looking nearly untouchable. But now he's got to one-up himself and David Godziek.
After the run from Bringer, I did not see this moment coming. But David Godziek has been unstoppable all season. And this is more of the same here.
These are the rivalries in sport that just push it to a new level. It's such healthy competition, and we're about to see what Tim Bringer does for the rebuttal. Physically and technically, there is such a similar level, but it all comes down to mental in this final moment to execute.
It does. You're right, Caroline. That is the element right now, the mental element. How many unscriptable moments can we possibly get in one season? So, Lukas Skiöld was sitting in 5th place for a while, but because of these run 2 performances we've seen, he's been bumped down to 10. And Lukas Skiöld now looking to ride the wave of the energy we just saw from David Godziek.
Yeah, his toes are on the nose. He's gonna ride this thing all the way to the bottom. Starts out with a tail whip there, opposite tail whip. Tuck no-handed backflip, looking a lot cleaner than his first run already on the top of the course. Looks like a triple on the hip there, triple bar spin 360, a single there, single bar spin 360.
Let's see what he's got for us on this big straight trick jump.
Backflip, bar spin to tail whip, looking really, really solid. Coming around that berm with solid speed. Front flip up, what's he got off? 360. Big invert flip on the spine. Just how clean everything is in comparison to the first run right now.
A little bit of those jitters out.
Yeah, definitely.
Lukas Skiöld into the cannon, really smooth extension on that 360 tuck no-hander.
Lukas coming down with a solid run. I mean, talk about the weather turning it on. The competition got moved to the morning. The wind has been incredible, and the boys are putting down a performance right now.
And 3 hours ago, he thought he was just going to be spectating. And now here he is doing top to bottom runs on the biggest stage in the sport.
And then you get that text message, nobody, you're in Joyride today. And Red Bull
Talk about rising to the occasion, you know? Didn't even think that he was going to compete. Missed 2 days of practice. Got the last second call that he'd be on course. A little bit of jitters in run number one, but rising to the occasion here in run number two as we look back, slow-mo through the hips, 360 triple bar spin. And then he cleaned this trick in run number one, and he does it again, the backflip bar spin to tail, the biggest combo in his run. And good for variety as well. The judges love variety. Spinning, flipping, front flipping, and adding the combos. The execution, just like we've come to expect from Swedish slopestyle riders. If those hands are coming off, they're going to be absolutely pointed, extended, and ready for a photograph to be taken.
The Swedish Army have definitely elevated the sport of slopestyle. We've seen himself and Ben. It's not all about the winners out here. There's so much inspiration. These riders are inspired by each other, but they have the influence and the opportunity to inspire so many people out here. So just showing up and putting out a performance is what sport is all about.
It's great to have Lukas Skiöld back into a Crankworx slopestyle event as well. It's been a while since we've seen him. He's the training partner of Emil Johansson. They trained together in their hometown, Sweden.
Yeah, Alma Wiggberg also riding with them. Sweden is definitely going big in the slopestyle category here.
You see that in ski and snowboard as well. But for mountain biking, it's just so crazy, and we've been impressed by that for so many years. The fact that their winters are so brutal, dark for, I mean, 80% of the day it's dark, but they fill those dark hours by training indoors.
They go into that dome and get that constant repetition, and that's what it takes to get to this level. It's practicing those tricks day in, day out, and it's repetition that makes the outcome happen at a big event like Joyride.
And it makes sense. They have access to those facilities, but still, you have to scale those moves to the gigantic features like we're seeing right there on the right side of the screen, the final cannon.
And to put it in perspective, these guys, I mean, he'll be training indoors, the grandstand's empty, it's quiet, it's dark, it's the middle of winter, and then he's going to be on this global stage.
There we go, the score in for Lukas Skiöld, run number 2. He betters his score, but not enough to move into podium position. He moves up one spot into 9th.
Top 10, nothing wrong with that. Your first time out here at the Joyride course.
Absolutely. So Torquato Testa will not be dropping for run number 2, which puts the spotlight on this man right here, Lukas Huppert from Switzerland. So surprising, he's only 24. He's been on tour for so long, and we saw him drop an absolute hammer in run number 1. We talked about how he's been bringing the casseroles back into his repertoire, and it really paid off in run number 1. He's a rider who has more. Take a look at the drop for that on-off feature in the middle of the course. We know he has more for that, Alan. This is the opportunity he's been waiting for to pull it.
Yeah, truck driver in. Straight 3 right there. What's he got on the step down? No! Just wasn't feeling it. It's so hard to sit up there and have your next run in your mind, but like you were saying, Lukas definitely had more to give. We didn't, I was just about to say we didn't see a twister in the first run, and there he goes.
So he knew he had that first run in the bag for the points, but decided to just send that trick for the fans.
I can't believe how high he goes on his cash roll variations. A twister is an extra 360 added onto that front flip 360, which is a cash roll. And he absolutely takes it to the moon.
Let's see what he's got, bringing it in here to the bottom. Just chilling on in.
I support that decision. No need to cash roll the cannon again. Stomped in run number 1. Lukas Huppert putting one down for the fans. He will not move up in the rankings.
These riders are tired, even though they're not pedaling out on course. It is huge physical demands mentally to withstand this week, to prepare to get here to this final moment.
Yeah, definitely. We were actually talking with Godziek earlier in practice. He was breathing hard at the bottom, and he was mentioning that. It's a tough run. This is a long, long course. The G-forces they're pulling in the berms, the big impacts. They were talking, saying some of the landings were a little bit mellower than they wanted, so big impact and hard on the body, top to bottom here.
Well, Lukas Huppert will stay in the same position. And Max Fredriksson right now, sitting in 3rd. He likes what he sees. He's gonna hang on to that run 1 score. It would be hard to imagine adding anything to his first run, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Looking really clean there. These are the fun times that you get out on your bike, just kind of hanging out. And it really is a testament to how much these riders are pushing it. They're not gonna take that risk unless they need to.
Sometimes the riders, when you see these laps, they've done what they can do. They know their A run is in the bag. They're not trying to do anything they've never done, something like that.
Opposite 3 up, regular 3 down. So hard to mix up the directions on your rotations.
So Max Fredriksson saying, you know what, I got my job done in run number 1. That's what I had for you. I executed on my vision, my goal. And now it's kind of like step aside. All right, your move, Tim Bringer. One rider left to go. We knew he was going to be the final one to drop. But now he is the last one to drop. He's in the gate right now. He was sitting on that 94.4 for the majority of the day. His run 1 score looked to be unbeatable, but never count out David Godziek, especially this season. He won in Australia, he won in Innsbruck, and now David Godziek gets to sit back and watch Tim Bringer to see if he can take him out. A look back at Godziek's leading run now.
Yeah, nothing I can really point out that could have been better from Godziek right there. You see him executing perfectly from top to bottom. Triple tail lifts, triple truck drivers, even mixing it up right there with the Indian Superman seat grab. Some of the tricks we don't usually see him, and then there, where he crashed on that first run, the cash roll bar spin off of that cannon, tucks it in and absolutely perfect.
Oh, the reaction from Godziek as he saw that number 1 next to his name. He did everything he could out there on the course, and he was rewarded. And now we are privileged to bear witness to this moment right now. All the pressure on Tim Bringer, a man who has 4 silver medals on the Crankworx FMBA Slopestyle World Championship Series. Is he going to get another silver, or can he up the ante and knock David Godziek out of the hot seat and crush Godziek's dreams at winning the Triple Crown of Slopestyle?
By the way that we've seen him ride all day, he's playing big, he's here to win, he's leaning into this moment, and could he be the upset?
I have no idea what he can add, but he looks to be focused. I think he's going to go for it. I do not think he's content with a silver medal right now.
Yeah, I think he's going to leave it all out here on the course. Danger man right here. Such a deep bag of tricks. No telling what he's going to do.
Oh, here we go. Tim Bringer on course.
And he gets that front flip in straight off the bat. 1-2 truck driver. And he goes for the cash roll on that step down.
Gets it again clean.
Okay, what's he got right here? 1, 2. Double tail 360 bar spin. And he gets a no-handed double backflip that time, so he has stepped it up. Backflip, double tail whip.
On the straight jump.
Come on, Tim.
Momentum looking really, really good. Opposite.
Oh, no! That's the way it happens. Of course, it happens on the smallest feature on the course. David Godziek does it. Grabs the gold medal and the triple crown of slopestyle.
When all the boxes have come together, all the stars have aligned, that is sport. It is never a guarantee, and this is what makes the Champagne so special.
Tim Bringer was going for it. He won up in his previous run. He had only done a straight double backflip on that hip, but he did get the no-handed double backflip off, so he was going for it, no doubt. Right here, just a simple little opposite 360 bar spin to X-up. That was probably the easiest trick in his run.
You know what? I had that thought. I went, please don't throw it away on the smallest feature. It was going so well. Oh, man. Bree is standing with our winner, Bree.
I am here with our winner of Red Bull Joyride and the winner of Triple Crown. David, how special is this to you?
I can't believe it. Can't believe it. I'm so happy, and thank you very much for all the support. I love it. I love it. Thank you.
Tim Bringer put down such a solid run. What were you thinking when he put down that double flip off the cannon?
Yeah, I was hoping for the best for him, but yeah, I knew I did my best, and that's the most important for me.
You've got your brother here, you've got your girlfriend here. Great.
I'm definitely gonna go to jacuzzi with a beer, hang out all day, do nothing, and I'm gonna fly straight to Hawaii on Monday.
Woo! Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd say you've earned yourself a Hawaii trip right there. That's got to be one of my favorite moments in Crankworx slopestyle history right there. An unscriptable moment, the pressure on, and David Godziek making dreams happen. Crazy pressure. Not only the Triple Crown, but the fact that there was a rider out there pushing him to his limits. He had to have thought for a minute with Emil bowing out that, oh, this is gonna make it easier, but we've never seen Tim Bringer ride this strong. I thought for sure it was his day.
Yeah, earlier in practice, for sure you had called that out. It was his day, but Godziek, the ability to come back from that adversity in that first run, doing it just like he did in Innsbruck, able to take it all for the glory.
Remember, the voting is still open, and I'm hoping we see Tim Bringer with the rider of the day, because that was an incredible performance.
Good point. Well, another fourth place there for Erik Fedko. Max Fredriksson on the Joyride podium, grabbing the bronze. Of course, Tim Bringer with the silver. David Godziek with the gold. BC there representing the top 5. Griffin Paulson pulling down a 5th place. His best result in his Crankworx career. And a strong showing from Lukas Skiöld, coming off the bench, off the alternate list, and back into the Crankworx arena. Congratulations to him. Unfortunately, issues from riders like Nicolai Rogatkin, Paul Couderc, of course, Max Langille and Tom Isted not stomping runs either. But that's the way it goes sometimes. This sport is so insane. And anytime we see a rider go top to bottom, it's something to celebrate. But we got to thank our riders for putting on such an insane show for us today. You never know what the story is going to be, and we still are curious what the story will be for voting for the rider of the day. We got to look at our rankings right now. Max Langille holding it down. I love that backflip C-Crab Indian Air he was doing on the dirt-to-dirt step down. Obviously, you did as well out there. We saw a BC boy win rider of the day last year. We see a BC boy leading the votes right now. I feel like we got a lot of Canadians watching our broadcast right now, it turns out.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
So official standings for the women. Look at that, consistency paying off. I mean, Caroline, really strong start to the season for you. You're on the box, 3rd place. But with you out today, it really opened up the door for Shealan Reno, who has had consistent results all season. Who would have thought at the beginning of the season that she would be #1 at the end, racking up those points?
I would have never imagined. She's going to be so grateful leading into the following year and making this a reality to be a professional in this sport.
And there, of course, it does not take a mathematician to know if you win all 3 events, not only do you secure the Triple Crown, but you have the most points. David Godziek wrapping up the Crankworx FMBA Slopestyle World Championship for this 2024 season. Tim Bringer, you know, he's got 5 second place results now, 5 silver medals, and he's #2 overall for the season. And Erik Fedko, so much consistency, but hard earned today, crashing in run #1, putting it down in run #2. He is #3 overall for the season.
Looking back at the women's standings there, seeing that Shealan Reno in first place, but only by 9 points over Alma and Robin, who are tied. So the competitiveness in the women's field is absolutely there.
Oh, it is huge. It just makes 2025 even more exciting because we have seen Alma push new limits with the versatility in her variations. And now we've seen consistency come through with Shealan.
Well, as the crowd works their way down to the finish corral for awards, the dust is settling on today's competition. We will be digesting all there is to talk about at the end of this 2024 season. After the break, stick with us.
Prepare your bike. Visualize the track. Keep your blood pumping. Every mistake is a new opportunity. Keep your grip loose for the wildest rides. Bike on Red Bull TV.
We all have our idea of what we want the sport to look like.
Still have that childhood feeling every time I drop in.
We are ready down here.
Anytime?
It's go time, man.
It's gonna be insane.
The best feeling ever.
I'm ready to go.
Anytime. This September on Red Bull TV.
Oh my gosh, as we see images now of this iconic run from David Godziek, winning the Triple Crown, using that cash roll bar spin off the cannon to do it, putting all that pressure on Tim Bringer. But the man with the most pressure coming into today had to be David Godziek, and we're lucky enough to have somebody right here who understands that pressure. Brett, you were the first ever rider to feel what it's like to have all eyes on you and to be asked about the Triple Crown every single conversation you have in the village here.
Yeah. The pressure is like, it's crippling. It's so impressive to see riders be able to actually win the Triple Crown.
Yeah. The fact that we've seen it now a bunch of times, we thought it might be impossible, you know? It's like...
Yeah. Especially after Emil on his winning streak so many times.
So, were you watching practice out there today? Did you see how many crashes David actually had?
No, I didn't. Oh, I didn't know that he crashed today.
I looked over, we were getting ready for the broadcast, and I looked over and I see him on the ground right here, like at the bottom of the run out with completely blown out jeans.
No.
What happened? And then he had that huge slam in run #1. It's crazy to see him perform under that kind of pressure.
Yeah, if there's anyone that can do that, though, it's definitely David.
Well, the women's field as well, just absolutely killing it. We have all the results to talk about for the overall standings for the whole season, but we're going to take a look back at run #1 right now, or the gold medal for David Godziek, the run we were just talking about. Break this down for me, Brett.
Solid.
You know more than anybody what it's like to drop into this course.
And triple truck out in such a tight little space. So impressive. It triple whip like it's a double tail whip. Yeah, and even getting some style in there. And then this is so impressive. Like, I don't even have words for it. Like, the cash roll is one thing, and to add a bar in and land perfectly into the finish corral.
But also on a cannon, you know, like, I mean.
Oh, I know.
Do you think the fact that we've got that cannon as the final feature. Do you think that caused those riders to just reach that much deeper into the bag of tricks and do things they wouldn't normally do if it was in the middle of the course?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. They got to dig deep and get creative with that.
What's it like coming into the final feature? We've had so many different types of features to finish Red Bull Joyride, and you've sampled a lot of them.
Yeah. We've never had the cannon log to finish it, but it's good. I think I like the way that it challenged the riders, and yeah, it was sure fun to watch that, especially right at the end there.
What's it like being a member of the audience out here after so many years competing?
It's bittersweet. You know, I watched the contest, and a big part of me still wants to be in it, and a big part of me is really happy to just watch it.
Yeah.
So it's mixed emotions here.
Well, you've been a big part in pushing the sport. You've taken a lot of riders under your wing, a lot of women riders under your wing as well, giving them opportunities to train on your backyard. You've got an amazing training compound.
Yeah.
It's iconic to have women in Red Bull Joyride. Let's take a look at the first ever winning run for the women out here at Red Bull Joyride. It came in run number 1 from the Swede, Alma Wiggberg. What do you know about Alma?
Oh, the first time I heard of Alma was actually last year in Crankworx Speed and Style. I saw this girl doing, I think, double trucks, and I thought, who the heck is this? But to watch her come into the contest and flip bar one of the hips,
it's so impressive. You know, we talk about what does it take to win in the women's field right now. You got to trick every feature, and then if you can add rotations, that's definitely going to play to your favor. But the fact that she's rotating with variation, she's just set herself apart.
It's so good. It's so good to see.
So that was the first ever. I mean, we're going to look at that as a historic moment. We look back now that we have 20 years of history in this sport, and where do you think the women's field is going to be in, say, 5 years?
Oh my God, we're just seeing the very beginning of it. I reckon it's going to be more exciting than the men's in 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, the rate of progression is definitely super fast in the women's field, but do you look at some other sports as well? Look at like BMX Park, see what the women are doing there, and try to imagine what that's going to do for our sport in 5 years?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, as I said, it's just the beginning. I can't wait to see all the women that are being inspired by these pioneers right now. It's going to be so exciting to see in the next 5-10 years.
Yeah, for sure. It's inspiring the riders out there who have aspirations to get on this course, but it's also inspiring to the recreational riders out there. If you were with us last year, you remember we had Steep up here in the booth. Skier, mountain biker, can Steep go upside down? We're about to find out. Take a look.
I love it. Dude, that's so much airtime, man. My name's Nick. I've never backflipped a bike before in my entire life. We're 6 days out from Red Bull Joyride, so hopefully we can get it done and dusted before then, thanks to our coaches, Ben Thompson and Erik Fedko. Oh my Lord.
Just pull back.
Just pull back.
Oh yeah.
It's that easy, folks. Okay.
That was insane!
Holy moly, ravioli, Rogatkin! Yes! Get stoked, baby! Yes, sir!
Yes! Yeah!
Oh, that's what it's all about, baby!
That was perfect. Like the height, the pull, everything. You fully commit here, you're already looking back. And there you pull. And here you tuck your legs in a little bit. And that's how you want to do it.
So the next step of progression is taking it over to the landing bag. We can get a few on there, and we'd be one happy camper.
Dude, it's kind of gnarly, hey? He's gonna have to like pin. Oh, here he comes.
Oh my, let's go, baby. Oh my Lord, boys, thank you.
He did it!
I mean, if you can backflip on a trampoline, maybe you can do it on a bike.
I know. If you can manual, for those of you out there who are interested in backflipping, if you can manual, you can backflip, for sure.
I think so.
You just got to time your manual off. So a little bit like inside scoop on that story. He was celebrating. He landed that backflip. Sounds like he went back for some more. And actually, he's walking around in a walking boot right now.
Oh, no.
His second backflip didn't go as cleanly as the first one. But that just goes to show, just because you've done something for the first time, you still got to take it seriously every other time. And these riders out here, just because they landed it in practice, doesn't mean it's a gimme for the run.
No, definitely not. And those airbags bite back.
Well, the riders that were successful today are about ready to bask in the glory. We're going to listen in with our live on-site announcers here as we get our podium festivities underway. The first award we're going to be announcing is our Rider of the Day for Joyride 2024.
Oh, I can't tell that over the broadcast.
Yeah, sure.
Podium athletes, we're going to start with the fan-voted Rider of the Day. This is you. The judges had their say on the podiums, but our Rider of the Day for Red Bull Joyride 2024, your Women's Rider of the Day. Give it up for Alma Wiggberg. And our fan-voted Rider of the Day for the men, get your hands together for Erik Fedko!
Fedko! Right on. Last two events, fourth places. He's back on form. It's great to see. He was battling injuries last season.
Yeah.
But he's always so consistent.
If I had to guess the reason why Fedko got those votes, it was that Indian Air Superman Seeker 360 on the first hit.
Just get your hands together. This is on you, fans.
That would
the
probably
riders
be the
of
best
the day.
photo
Alma Wiggberg and Erik
the entire
Fedko.
event. But also, I think what could have
those
contributed to it was the fact that he crashed in run number one and came back and stomped a big one. Obviously, Godziek did as well. But Fedko is always such a fan favorite.
A hand getting a bike and a giant trophy down the stairs.
So much coming together here today at Joyride. So many awards to give out. We got the Triple Crown. We got the overall.
All right, we are going to move on to our podiums for 2024 Red Bull Joyride. What a show we had out there from the athletes. And let's just take a second. This is the very first time the women took on the Red Bull Joyride course at Crankworx Whistler, and what a show it was. Our bronze medalist, give it up for Shealan Reno!
Shealan killing it all season long, making top to bottom runs at every single stop. Definitely an accomplishment for her.
All right, and on the men's side, get your hands together for your Swedish hero, Max Fredriksson!
Awesome to see Max back on the podium. We saw him sort of starting to come back last year when we went to Cannes. But here he is, back on top form, Joyride podium.
I think the last time Max was on the podium here might have been in 2016 with me, and oh, so good for him.
You're absolutely right. Great to see.
Incredible moments out here on the Red Bull Joyride course today. Oh, the crowd absolutely fired up. We're moving on to our silver medal. And this young lady didn't have far to come from just down the road in Coquitlam. From right here in Canada, give it up for Natasha Miller!
Natasha Miller really showing that Crankworx effect in this whole Sea to Sky area. So many riders from this area just absolutely killing it and showing their stuff out here.
So cool to see how far she's come too. At all the events, she was shining at my event at Silver Star last year and even the year before.
Side, unbelievable showing out there today. Please give it up for Tim Beranger!
What do you think, Cam? The one that got away for Tim?
A 100% the one that got away. You know what? Out of the 5 silver medals he has right now, this one is definitely that big fish that was almost in the boat that he would have hung up on the wall.
All love for these riders here.
Fuel the fire. He's going to be
Tim
hungrier
making his
than
way
ever.
through a handshake
Oh yeah, you
and a
know
hug
that he
for
had more in the
everyone.
tank.
as Hulk hops up, receives his trophy and his medal.
Derek just called him Hulk. I love it.
And we are moving on to the top step. For the first time ever, the champion of Red Bull Joyride. Please give it up for Alma Wiggberg.
So stoked for Alma right here. It's been a long road. Coming back from those shoulder injuries, the confidence that it takes to be able to make that comeback. Even had some adversity in Innsbruck. Just really pulling it together here on the Joyride course, making history.
Crazy to think, right? She was one win away from also grabbing Triple Crown.
We won't remind her of that.
Oh yeah, Whistler. This is history happening right now. And speaking of history, only 2 other people have done it. This man, by locking down the win today, also puts himself on the trophy for the Triple Crown of Slopestyle with an outrageous performance. Give it up for David Godziek!
So awesome. This has been a long time in the making.
BMX background, is that safe to say?
Yeah, I think so.
I'll take it, I'll take it. Yeah, so cool to see him have to work for it, come back on that second run. So hard to come back in that situation.
Out of all the gold medals you have on the slopestyle circuit,
Whistler, get your hands
does the Joyride one just feel a little bit heavier?
It is. There's something about this place. It's harder to win here.
Men and women sharing the podium for the first time
We don't even
ever.
need to explain why, because everybody just saw why. Everything these riders had to do to find themselves on this podium
today.
right here.
Yeah. Talented bunch right here.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing you can take away. You can't say, well, this person crashed, that person crashed. You got to get from the top to bottom for it to count.
Look at that smile on Alma's face.
Yeah, so much stoke down here in the finish corral.
A lot of winners out there. It's so crazy how much we have to talk about at the end of this season. Triple Crown is the carrot dangled at the beginning of the year. We have the Slopestyle World Championship overall. We have a Red Bull Joyride podium, which we just saw, but we like to share, we like to share the victories with you. We let you know at the beginning of the show that we have a challenge for you and we have a prize for you. It's a piece of Crankworx 2024 merchandise that you can only either get here or by winning this competition right now. The most entertaining comment came from Eggy MTB. Congratulations, you've won yourself a shirt signed by Lukas Huppert, Emil Johansson, Erik Fedko, and Natasha Miller. We're gonna send it to you. Oh, it landed in the envelope. It's on its way to you right now. And that is the end of the Crankworx slopestyle season, but it's not the end. I smell champagne. Do you smell champagne?
I smell champagne.
I feel like
and Red Bull.
I ingested some champagne. We are downwind from the podium right now. This is not the end of Crankworx Whistler 2024. The Crankworx season is over, done and dusted, etched into the history books, but we have another broadcast for you coming up later today. That's going to be 5 o'clock local time here in beautiful Whistler, British Columbia. I welcome you into that broadcast. Please join us from wherever in the world you are, mountain bike fans of the world, because we've got some more hardware to give away in that discipline. We also have to figure out who the queen of Crankworx will be. We crowned Ryan Gilchrist just a little over 24 hours ago. He's the king of Crankworx from the 2024 season. And man, oh man, what a crazy slopestyle competition we had. This guy, Brett Reeder, who's walking away right now, I gotta thank you, Brett. Air 5 for joining us in the booth. He is actually holding his own slopestyle competition at Silver Star Resort. That's taking place next week. The Crankworx Slopestyle Series is done and dusted. We know who our winners are for that, but the way you get to this biggest venue of the sport is by following the Gold Cup. So we've got a competition on the Gold Cup out there. It's called the Reader Slopestyle at Silver Star Mountain. That's taking place next week. That's actually going to be live streamed. So take a look at crankworx.com for times and updates on that. Follow Crankworx on social media and join that broadcast as well. A lot of the riders from this field here today will be competing in that alongside riders who will be in the field here in the future. We got to thank Brett Reeder not only for joining us here in the booth, but for all the work he puts in to building up opportunities for the young up-and-coming talent in the sport. That event is a world-class course, and it gives riders a taste at what Crankworx is really like.
Yeah, it's definitely a build for those athletes. Not only do they have to qualify through those tours to get here, but they have to really figure out the mental game and what it takes. You can have the tricks, you can know how to ride the jumps, but if you don't know how to mentally approach doing a competition like this, like what Godziek did today, to crash in his first run, be way down, have all of that pressure, and be able to find that mental space. It's a place you can find, you can revisit it when you need to, but you got to find yourself in those positions in order to learn how to do it.
For sure, 100%. You gotta, what did you say? You gotta walk before you can run, and this is a sprint right here, Red Bull Joyride. It's a marathon and a sprint, all encapsulated into one. But also, it is the biggest battle of the year, but there is a war as well, and that is the Crankworx FMBA Slopestyle World Championship. We're about ready to find out what the final standings are from the 2024 season and hand out the hardware for those accomplishments as well. Big money on the line for the overall, and I'm hoping more champagne because I kind of like being downwind from it. It smells nice.
Yeah, big money, big performance. Bonuses from the sponsors. These riders are definitely stoked to be finally
incredible
at this point at the end of the season.
Consistency from Fedko and the fan voted rider of the day. Now on the women's side, we don't have a third, because we have a tie for second, and only one of our tied for second riders is here. So we're gonna bring her up on stage one more time. It's Alma Wiggberg.
I wonder if they both get second place overall money. That's nice.
yeah, how do we figure that out? Erik Fedko and Alma Wiggberg there, wrapping up third place in the overall.
One of the most consistent riders in mountain biking and locking down the second place overall spot. Back to the step, Tim Brinder!
I say we put a big old #2 on the back of Tim Brinder's jersey for next year. 5 second places, second place in the overall this year.
FMBA Slopestyle
Embrace it.
World Champion.
Can't wait to see him get that win.
Shealan Reno, the inaugural season, the overall. Consistency pays. We saw some of our top winners throughout the season not be able to compete at certain events. So Shealan really relying on that consistency and able to lock in her spot for next year.
Quickly.
The overall champion there. Who would have thought at the beginning of the season, you know what, she's going to just add more tricks to defend that title for next year. And we've said this enough here in the broadcast where you know what this is all about. This guy won all 3 contests that the men competed in this 2024 season, wrapping up not only the Triple Crown, but the Crankworx FMBA Slopestyle World Championship. David Godziek, another trophy for the case.
Yeah, I hope he brought some extra baggage with him. He's gonna have to come to Hawaii with a bunch of extra trophies.
Here we go, here goes our downwind shower right now. Breathe it in. This is exactly the way we were hoping this day would go when we woke up this morning. 2 runs, so great to have that. Last year we only had 1 run. This year, early start, low winds, big crowd, stomped runs, all the peaks and valleys and drama you would expect from a Red Bull Joyride.
Yeah, absolutely. This course delivered. I really, really like the addition of that log at the bottom, really pushing the riders to go another level, do tricks that they've never done on that obstacle. I loved it.
We can already start talking about next season. I feel like the first time I said Crankworx 2025 was earlier today, and now I'm going to say it again. Please join us for the kickoff of the 2025 season. It's only a few months away. That's going to be taking place March 5th through the 9th, 2025. What a great slopestyle season it has been here in 2024. We have globe-trotted. We went to New Zealand, Australia, Austria, and right here in the birthplace, Whistler. Hey, I'm Cam McCall alongside Alanko. We got to thank everybody out there, the riders, the coaches, the mechanics, the production team, Red Bull, for putting on another iconic Red Bull Joyride. Please join us later today for Pump Track. We'll see you then. Goodbye.
Pumping the gas, speeding out, what's coming to pass in the